Hello and welcome everyone to episode 32 of the smobcast. So today we're just going to be talking about some Traum servants. There's not much else going on in the game, but there's 6 whole servants that we're going to be seeing in the next few weeks, as well as one that we just got, Constantine. But some of these, like, it's going to be retreading some ground we already have covered in the past, but that's largely like on the tier list, and I'm sure a lot of the viewers haven't watched the tier list, so they might not know what we're talking about with them. But we'll be getting into all of that here after people say hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Hello. That's
And,
it. Are we counting Pope John?
I don't really see a reason to, because she's not going to come out for another like 11 months.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
9 months,
All right.
actually.
Got it.
Yep. But yeah, we are gonna talk about that in just a second. I have 2 Charlemagne pages open for some reason.
It is interesting because like none of the Traum servants that are released with Traum are bad. It's just that one is hated. That one
Yeah.
is hated for unrelated reasons. Well, no, one is hated. Okay, he's not the Traum servant I'm talking about. One is hated for unrelated reasons to not being good. This guy, I don't consider a Traum servant. I consider him a waste of space.
Damn.
Wow.
Damn, dude. He's not even taking space on any of the banners. Like, they had him, like, separated off into his own banner, and he's still wasting space, huh?
He should be in an advancement quest, so I can test Sojiro on him.
Damn.
Yeah. Anyway,
that would be a bit interesting. You'd still have to find a way to get past the 100% defense. I don't know why he doesn't have ignore defense. Like, he has bonus against defense enemies, but like if they have 100% defense, he still has to figure out some other way around it.
Yeah, it like, if you're lucky, it makes up for it. It cancels out. Usually the SE is probably, I mean, I guess depends on your setup, because like if you have a lot of like attack ups or defense downs, then the SE would be good. But yeah, like if you're not like stacking a bunch of buffs, I feel like that usually it at best it like evens out. It's not even like a desired you still don't want defense up on the enemy.
I mean, what if it's like one of those really weak ones, like a 20%?
Oh well, yeah. Usually, like, not. I would say like non-gimmicks. Like if it's like a servant skill, then yeah. If you're like fighting, okay, Koyan Dark's not a good example because she's a foreigner. But like, let's say you're fighting Koyan Dark and she gets 30% defense up, then it's probably okay, right? If it's like a standard servant skill, it's probably fine.
Plus, you can bring someone to give him defense ignore. I guess, I don't know.
Yeah.
Who?
Actually, Holmes is the only person who does that.
It is just Holmes, yeah.
It's just Holmes.
It is just Holmes.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, like, you can't bring buff removal because then you're just gonna lose the damage.
You lose it, yeah. So maybe it's not a great idea anyway. So you know what? Maybe Plush is right here. I will concede.
Honest, I feel like it would be better if it was the other way around, where he ignores defense and does bonus to damage cut enemies. I don't know though. Like, I guess defense is a bit more common.
Yeah, there'll be some fight where he'll be optimal. Don't worry.
Yeah, the damage cut thing is scary because like traditionally, what they've been using damage cut as like the second layer of gimmick. Because they don't want to always use special damage res because that's just boring. So like sometimes they mix it up. They put like defense ups with damage cuts, and then if you can't deal with either, they add up to like making you take 0 damage, making them take 0 damage. But now they can't really. I mean, they can still do that because Sojiro kills himself. Like it's actually, I think that is intentional. Like obviously it's lore reasons, but it's also like kind of an intentional. Like they're willing to give him that strong of an effect because he ends himself on NP.
Yeah, the fact that he Sudokus upon NP is probably why they would give him something. They're like, oh, he's Sudoku, so why don't we give him some effect that is super unique, but you can't really spam easily. And if you do
Yeah.
spam it, like if you give him guts and like do guts comps, those are hard to pull off. Like
Yeah,
you
you gotta
sacrifice
work
other
for it.
buffers for it, so you do less damage in that sense.
Yeah.
To be fair,
I mean,
it's getting a
it is
bit.
lore accurate, but yeah.
I'd say it's getting a bit easier too, though, because like right now we've got like
I think
they added
Chloe was the
Chloe.
best, like, addition
We've
for it.
still
Yeah,
got
Chloe
we
is.
still got Santa Gale and I'm not gonna say Cats. No.
No,
I
Ket's
don't-
Buster. Actually, Ket's does buff Buster.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, I
Okay.
have a
To
level
be fair,
50
yeah.
Kets. So you know what?
Yeah, Kets is
Yeah,
a
to be
rare
fair,
like.
she has that, and she has the attack buff and stars. I don't know. It's just like I don't think of Cats as like a supporter when I use her.
You
Which
do
is,
not.
like,
Like
I-
that
I
is
don't-
not
You
normal
don't,
use.
but I don't use Kets ever, and so I never leveled her past 50. So I
Isn't
so
the
I
guts
do
tied to
have-
a skill buff though? Is it not?
no. Her
Oh, it's
second
not.
skill is just grants guts, increase Buster by 30%. The
Damn, I
second
shouldn't have
one,
FA'd her.
the charisma one, where it gains stars, but all it is stars. So
Yeah,
you lose
it's
that, but like
it's also a pretty unique charisma in the fact that it has it's I think it's an A plus charisma, so it's 21% instead of 20. Because
Mm.
in lore you're not supposed to be able to go above A unless you're Gil, in which case you're bullshit. But she isn't Gil, and she still goes over 20%. Speaking of, it's kind of funny that they buffed his skill as well, added a star bomb and team NP damage buff. I didn't think of that until now, though.
ooh, Gilgamesh.
Yeah. Yeah, they
Hmm.
buffed
Actually-
the same skill, and his is just way better.
I actually don't really know Gilgamesh's kit. I'm gonna just be honest here. I have never once ever used Gilgamesh, like ever.
It's
Damn.
the first skill buff, right? Like the first skill
Yeah.
buff is the most recent one, which gives like sky attribute enemies something.
No, it's it gives
Sky attribute
Sky
allies.
Attribute allies 20%
Not
NP
enemies,
damage for
yeah.
3 turns.
Yeah,
And then
allies.
also a 20 star bomb. Anyways, so Constantine has been on the screen for at least 5 minutes, and we haven't talked about him at all.
Right,
Yeah.
like that's just Constantine. You know,
Yeah. So Constantine is a pretty interesting rider. He doesn't have a damaging NP. He has a supportive NP. But we'll get into that.
no, he
Like,
doesn't.
yeah, yes, he does.
I disagree. I think that the way he's built is actually not to be supportive.
Well-
So I think it's deceptive. I think it's a trick.
Okay, well, we'll get into that. So, like, starting off, his gains are pretty good. Like, he's got over a 2% arts card, but he's got 2 of them, so... and then, since he's a rider, you're probably going to use him against casters, because, like, oftentimes you might be DPSing with him. Honestly, I think that's one of his better use cases. And then, like, yeah, up against casters... and you got higher absorb. He uses his NP fairly often, I'd say. Just like higher absorb and the plus 20%. That's how it feels like with most riders, for me at least. His first skill, it's NP generation for 1 turn, target focus for 1 turn, and then 20 stars. It is on a 6-turn cooldown, which is pretty low uptime. I know people take a lot of issue with this, like all of these being 1-turn effects. However, I don't really feel like, okay, so it feels a lot like Mash's 3rd skill to me, where she has the 1-turn taunt on the same cooldown, but it's like way more NP gain instead of a star bomb. But like this kind of, in ways, this feels better than that, because like you might not be able to get like 100% of your NP off of a single arts crit or whatever, but you're making those stars, so you have like more options with this, so you can guarantee some crits with this.
I do think the taunt should have been 3 turns. Everything else being 1 turn is fine, but the taunt should have been 3 turns.
I don't know
I
about
mean,
it being a 3-turn
eh.
taunt. I feel like that might put too much pressure on him, and like that's something that's a bit hard to balance. And since like all of his
he doesn't have long-lasting defense buffs, right? That's his issue.
all of
'cause
his
it's only one
survival
turn.
is on a 1-turn NP. So I feel like that might get him killed faster than you might want him to.
But
But then
there's also the potential. Yeah, he could
if
just
you-
loop it 3 turns and never take damage.
Yeah, that could also happen where he just like keeps looping because he's getting hit.
Yeah, they should
yeah.
do that.
It'd be cool if they made it so the NP generation actually lasted on the enemy turn at least. They don't
Mhm.
do that though unless it's exclusively that, like with Percival and Nobukatsu
Cha-Cha.
and Cha-Cha. Yeah.
You never forget Cha-Cha. Don't stop forgetting her, guys.
Ooh.
Huh?
Cha-Cha real smooth.
Bro.
And then second skill, it's AoE 20 attack, AoE 20 buster, and then for Romans, it's also 30% crit. So since he's Roman, he also gets this crit buff. So just like off of that, he's got 20, 20, 30 on his buster cards. So like he's got pretty decent steroids just off of that. And then you move on to the next one. Next skill, you get he himself gets 30% charge, 30% crit for 3 turns, and then stars per turn for 3 turns. And then she I'm so used to talking about female servants that I'm calling him a she. Then he also has this effect where if he dies, he gives those same buffs to someone else, the one on the furthest right that isn't him. So then they'd get 10 stars per turn for 3 turns, and then 3 turns of crit, 3 turns of not 3 turns, 30% charge. I think a lot of people focus a bit too much on this aspect of the skill, because like if you just separate it in a vacuum, this third skill, like if he doesn't die, it's still a pretty good skill. 6-turn cooldown, you get 10 stars per turn, 30% charge, and then 30% crit. Like, it's a pretty decent skill. It's just, we've got this thing as well for flavor, or like if you want to go crazy and like make some sort of setup around it. But yeah, like stars per turn, that means he's going to be critting since he's a rider. So like, I think his skills are alright. Like, he's got 20 attack, 20 buster, and then 60% crit. And that, even though 20 and 20 looks small, like you add all that together, it's multiplicative. He actually crits pretty hard. And then he also has a passive crit buff. I didn't know about that, but it's only 7.2%.
That is why, though, I do with Thomas 3 turns. So if you wanted to, you could take advantage of this, because it's hard to get him killed in just 1 turn.
Yeah, especially... I know that's what usually people want, just because like it might be harder to get him killed because it's only 1 turn. But the thing I don't like about that is it might force him too far into this role, to a point where he'll struggle to stay alive and he'll just be stuck doing this. So like I understand that. I understand why people want that. I'm just not a fan of it. Got anti-air for whatever it's worth. And his NP is really unique. He gets 30 to 50% buster for himself for 3 turns. So that's on NP level, which means that on top of his skill set, he's got 50 card, 20 attack, and then 60 crit. So that is a lot of crit damage. And then he's also got stars per turn and another 20 on demand. And then he gets 1 hit of Invuln for 1 turn. Roman allies get 5k damage cut for 1 turn. And then everyone, regardless of whether or not they're Roman or him, they get at least 100% defense. So unless they have attack buffs or ignore defense, you guys aren't going to take damage. And even then, like 5k damage cut, you might not take damage anyways.
Yeah. And his buster scaling's less egregious than Alco's, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
Wait, isn't hers like 20 to 50?
It's 20 to 50,
Yes,
where
it's
his
20 to
30
50.
That's
20 to
so
50
weird.
permanent, bro. 20 to 50 permanent. That is like permanently crippled if you're at MP1. It's actually, anyways.
I mean, to be fair,
And it's
like-
not just that; it's extra attack too. Right? Does that scale with?
It
Yeah,
does,
it's
yes.
extra. Yeah.
Yeah. But I do like his kit. I kind of wish I had him just so I could like mess around with what he does, but it's hard to find him on support lists as well, so I don't
I
get
mean, I can put him up
opportunities to use
usually,
him.
but yeah,
Yeah,
like
I remember one time you tried to have me solo the dragon with him, and I quit out of boredom because he just was not taking damage.
I think the most recent like impressive thing I saw him do was to solo the white day CQ, which was like pretty tough because like they keep pressuring you with MPs, but because of how many hits those MPs are, and like
Which
Charlie
one
has
is
a
it
lot
again?
of hits. It's the white day one with
Oh,
Charlie,
okay,
Yang
yeah,
Guifei.
Yeah,
Like
the French people in Young Guifei.
None of them have
Yeah,
no,
invul
they're not all
ignore, right?
French though. Don Quixote is Spanish.
I mean, Invul Pierce doesn't do anything though, like because he has 100% defense up and damage. Like the guy would need Invul Pierce plus ignore defense on MP. I think one of them has ignore defense, right? I don't, but
Yeah.
yeah, like because of how many hits a lot of them have on attack, he's actually able to loop his MP every turn, and then he just like you just can't kill him. I genuinely think like. This is just people. I don't know if it's Scotty's fault. I don't know if it's like. I guess it's not really Scotty's fault because like Kichion came after Scotty, but like, it's basically like people stopped caring about servants like Qin Shi Huang. Like I remember back in the day, people were like super hyped about Qin Shi Huang, thinking he's like the best thing ever. I don't think he's actually that much worse than Qin Shi Huang. And I'm pretty sure you also share the same sentiment. I kind of forgot, but like, I think he is like just. He can solo, he can be a team, and tank MP. I know his like MP doesn't taunt him, but like his MP is just team wide defense, right? Like it's a give and take. So maybe if he's a ruler.
But I
don't know.
also think that Shi Hongdi is also mid
Yeah.
as well. So he may be similar to Constantine. And that's why I'm like, I don't think Constantine's a support, is because his buster buff is purely selfish. His kit is also, for the most part, selfish. Like unless he dies, only his second skill really increases, your attack a little bit.
You also get
Yeah,
stars
party.
per turn, to be fair, but that might be
He's a
making up.
rider.
Yeah,
He's
that
a
might
rider.
also
He's
be
gonna
making
steal
up
it all.
for. I mean,
Yeah,
it's more
he-
than Rhinus does for crits, I guess.
I genuinely think he is better than Qin Shi Huang, but because he's not ruler, so people are like whatever, right? So like the leeway he's able to have when he doesn't have his defenses up is minimal. He also doesn't have a stun skill like Qin Shi Huang. So like solo wise, there are very specific conditions that has to be met for him to be better, right? But like,
I think
people
he's-
also don't care about that playstyle. But
Yeah, I think he's just such a non-standard type of servant. People don't know what to put him in, because generally, like, people have like a couple boxes they want to put servants in. Like, okay, is it a
Mhm.
DPS? If it's a DPS, is it a challenge quest servant or a farmer? If it's
Yeah.
not either of those, is it a support? And then
I'ma
when
be
there's
real.
when there's something that is kind of like blurring those lines, they're just not sure how to use them. Because
Well, I've said it before. He's too specialized for his own good. Like, he has a little box he sits in, but that box isn't worth thinking about.
I don't think he's really that complex. It's just like he's a crit
it's not
DPS.
complex. It's not complex. It's just that what he does that differentiates him from the alternative options is too niche for most people to be concerned about. And that because like there's a lot of other servers that you can do to like tank or like do this type of support, but like he specifically targets Roman, and Roman is such a small niche that
Okay, but the only thing that goes to Roman is 30% crit. Like I like they still get
5,000 damage cut.
Yeah, but the damage cut isn't always gonna matter. Like if that's basically just to make up for if they have attack buffs. Like I don't feel like it's that niche to like give the entire team a turn of survival. Like that seems like a pretty common thing. And then like even if you are working with other defensive supports, like it's more uptime on survival. If you're up against something that's higher damage, then you have more turns of coverage. He's just like a mixture of like the defensive and then the offensive. It's like if Zhang wanted to be a crit DPS.
Okay, so here's my take on this, right? It's because people think he's ugly.
That is awesome.
Wait,
I'm not joking.
You cut out.
People think he's ugly.
Look at his second ascension. Pull up stage 2. Pull up stage 2 and look him in the face and tell me like he's not like. It's so bad. His stage 2 art is the one that I think gets memed on because it is like actually terrible.
Okay,
look at that.
Do you know why I said that? So a character that has a mixed kit that isn't good at farming, that can't really define whether they want to be a support or a DPS. We just got one, and people can't stop jumping in front of a fucking truck to defend her, right? So like, I think it's just because he looks ugly, or like people don't like how he looks, or he's a man, or because he simps for a pope in the main story and people think he's a scumbag. Like, I genuinely think it's not because of his gameplay. Like people want to find 1,000 excuses to blame it on, his gameplay. No. They hate it because he's a man. They hate it because he's not like Kamazotz or whatever, right? Like, that is my take at least. If Alco had his exact kit, people would jump in front of a truck to defend his gameplay like 100% of the time. That's what I'm saying. Anyways,
but like people like Sojiro, and he's a man. So the male argument, I don't know if that works.
Yeah, because Sojiro is like, oh, the Chad. Like every fucking like MC in a Type Moon series has to be the Chad. Remember when Yuri came out, people are like fucking spamming JJK memes about like. Okay, but it's literally. I don't know. I think it's just community. Like one guy said he's bad, and then like 10 more guys said he's bad, and then like 100 more guys said he's bad. I understand why he's undesirable. Its gameplay is undesirable because like. Nobody likes a unit that is only CQ that doesn't farm.
I think something else that kind of hurts him, he's not really a good content servant either. It's hard to make good videos on him. And because people had this bad impression of him on release, they haven't seen stuff to like change that.
His solos are pretty fucking
but people
crazy.
Don't give a fuck about solos. Like they'll watch
people
them and
don't give a fuck about solos?
They'll watch
solos,
them. They like them, but but if a servant's good at soloing, unless they're like god tier at soloing, they don't actually care. Like
he's pretty good.
If the tier lists taught me anything, it's that people don't think that soloing is everything.
Oh yeah, that I mean I understand that. I mean they're not wrong. Soloing isn't everything. That in fact most people don't solo, and most soloable quests have some kind of exploitable gimmick within it, right? Like Kamazot's a modern boss, but so another Holy Shroud of Magdalene just makes the boss like 10 times easier. So
another problem with like rating a servant highly based off of being a good soloer. If they're a good soloer, you don't have to have them. You can just borrow one that's better.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm not saying like he deserves to be ranked high because he's a good soloer. I'm just saying like I feel like he has a lot of conditions to be a likable servant in terms of games. Like people like fucking Super Orion solos or heart crits or whatever. People used to like Kinchi Huang solos, right? People like King Hassan solos. Like people
I think
love
King
these
Hassan
characters.
solos are different. King Hassan solos are more aggressive than
Well, yeah.
people like aggressive solos.
Well, aggressive
that's
solos
why-
are just damage rushes.
That's why the most popular solos are Super Orion solos.
No, they're
Like-
not. I think King Hassan solos are more popular.
They just
I don't
like
s-
King
I think-
Hassan.
see-
They
I
just
don't
like
see
him as a
Super
person.
Orion. I don't see Super Orion that much. I'm gonna be honest.
I
don't
think
see him that
Because
much.
he
that's more-
can't. Because he
okay,
cannot.
question.
He literally cannot
Question.
solo most stuff.
Question.
Okay.
When was the last time you saw a King Hassan solo that wasn't by Wodan?
It's just Wodan.
I don't know if it was by what. Wait, was Woden the one who did the current JP challenge quest?
I mean,
Yes.
if it,
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It
so
is.
you,
Look,
it
I
might
don't
be
know.
you might be having it might
No,
be
wh-
more disproportionately
I don't
high.
follow Wodan.
What
I
I'm
just look at
saying
what comes
is-
up on Twitter, and
What
so I don't know who it is. It just pops
Yeah,
up
I
on
mean,
Twitter
it could be
sometimes.
someone else.
Like
What
he
I'm
tries
saying
to
is
solo everything
people-
with them, so
What I'm
So-
saying is like people have like good memories of older servants. I guess that's also a factor. Because people stop feeling fondly towards servants from a point. Like they stop fondly remembering servants from a point. Like Lost Belt 6 was kind of a resurgence of that, but like after Lost Belt 6, what's a servant that people fondly remember? Like I guess Cool Khan. Like she's too new to be fondly like there hasn't been servants that are fondly remembered, right? Like it's very rare that a servant like that pops up in the community.
Hold
Like
on, I-
not even
I-
okay.
Not even
What do you mean by
Tonalika or
fondly?
something.
What do you mean, like fondly remember? Because I'm pretty sure like
Like
people are pretty fond of
okay,
like.
so is it gameplay
Tez
wise
and like
or character?
wait, are
I
we
don't
talking
know.
like do alts count? Well, no. If we
okay.
exclude alts, I think like new characters that people really like, since from,
Lost
say
Belt.
now, coming
from
from
now.
now, Kriemhild people really like, Zhu people quite like, let's see here,
I mean,
people like.
I mean, Lost Belt 7.
I think
well-
most people are pretty good with Rikyū.
I don't know about that.
No,
I don't.
no.
I don't think
Tez.
so.
What about Tez?
Like she
So
yeah,
Tez, Cuckoo, and there's one other servant which came from Lost Belt 7,
Tlaloc?
which was Tlaloc. She was pretty fucking popular too.
I think Talaluk's popularity
Tululu's design is popular because of her design. Like
her popularity
gameplay
fell
is-
off so fast. That's insane. Like I know she's still popular, but like I feel like her popular like before she was revealed, like people were like, "Oh my god, please give me this character. This is like the most wife character ever. Holy shit!" And then now she's just a normal, likable 4-star.
I blame
think
her
that's-
third ascension being ugly.
I think
It's
it's.
not
I
ugly.
think it's just because people have been seeing other shiny objects for a while.
Yeah.
Okay, actually,
Yeah, I
I,
guess.
I won't say objects. They are people. I
Well,
was
no,
thinking.
she's a city.
I mean, she's not
Yeah,
a person. Okay.
Yeah.
She's not a.
I'm sorry. I'm a gamer. I objectify women all the time.
I objectify the city of Mexico. Oh no.
So,
But, like, yeah.
anyways, Charlemagne is the next servant we're talking about. We got 6 more to go, bro.
Charlemagne good. One of the 4 swapless Black Grail quick loopers.
So,
That's how I
So
categorize quick
before-
servants being good.
yeah, before his buff, I don't think he was really that great. Like, I mean, farming wise, yeah, it is nice that he has that flexibility, but I just felt like he was handedly worse than Oki to Alter. But he got a buff recently that was absolutely fantastic, and now I actually genuinely really like him. His gameplay, at least. So, like, his first skill was the one that got a buff. Before its buff, it was 2 hits of invuln targetable. If he has the invuln, which means, like, if he uses it on himself, or has someone else's invuln on himself, then, like, if he doesn't have it, he gets 20% NP gen for 5 turns, and then also an on-attacked buff for 5 turns where he gets a special buff counter every time he gets attacked for 5 turns, and that increases his NP damage. But if he has invuln, he doesn't get those effects. He just seals his own NP.
Very
So
Which,
it was a
by the
pretty
way,
janky skill. I didn't like it.
it was really dumb that it's not his invincibility specifically. It's any invincibility will trigger this NP
Yeah.
seal.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what it was.
That's
That's why I said it weird. It's because if you're using like Castoria's invuln on him, then he will not get the bonus. He will NP seal himself. But they recently buffed it, and now it still has the demerit thing going on. But now there's another way he can get the buff, which is by landing a crit, and that's for 5 turns. So 5 turns out of 6. Every time he crits, he gets like just a boost in his NP damage for 5 turns, which is kind of nuts because he makes a shit ton of stars with his NP.
Now, this didn't change his farming at all because it is on crit, but it does in challenge quest situations make
Actually,
things a lot.
it can change his farming because like it's completely possible you're gonna get you're gonna
card
get 5,
MP, yeah.
you're gonna have potentially 5 cards before your NP, so you can increase your damage a bit. Of course, like you got to be careful with it because
You
use
risk
that
killing
buster
Kill
card.
you.
because
Yeah,
Yeah.
ruin
if you're
the
using
refund.
Summer Scotty, 3 of your 5 cards are probably one shots on some of the smaller enemies.
Yeah, you can't use Buster. You also
Can't use Buster. Your
Dude,
quicks will also decimate.
his double arts deck comes into play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
he has
positive
the
now.
2 cards.
Finally, a use for the double
Ain't
arts,
no
not
fucking
doing
way,
damage.
Oh yeah,
Actually insane.
I forgot to mention his card gains are like not really that amazing. They're scaled around critting all of the time, so he has like a 1.44% arts card, which is not that great. And then he also has like a sub 2%, just under 2% quick card, which is also not that great. 2% is like meh, it's normalish. But yeah. But with the NP gain buff, it's more reasonable. But he's expected to be critting all the time. He, regardless of whether or not he has invuln, he gets the stars. Also, regardless of whether or not he gets the invuln, he still gets the on attack buff. So now you can actually use it on himself, and you're gonna be fine. It's just like, okay, you got to deal with the NP seal, but like, oh man, you're not gonna get more damage from being attacked. Well, you might not. You might be in a situation where you're trying not to get attacked anyways.
I
And
do
maybe-
dislike that in solos. I know he's not a good soloer, but like
yeah, I know.
I do dislike because like he has so much potential in solos. Because like if you're taking 3 hits every turn, you're at max SE like most of the time. But yeah, anyways, not important.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is a lot more flexible of a skill. You can build up stacks really fast. Because, yeah, you just take a Brave Chain, and then bam, you've got 3 more of them. It's 30% more NP damage for 5 turns. So, what it comes across as to me, like in gameplay, it feels like a cross between Romulus's gimmick and Super Bunyan's gimmick. Because Super Bunyan, it's only 5%, and she gets it whether she's attacked or she attacks. But he has to crit, which is like what Romulus does. But his applies to himself instead of a debuff to one enemy, like with Romulus. And Romulus's also stacks a lot higher. But
Yep.
But yeah, I feel like this is very reasonable with who he is.
It's a good buff. It made him way better in challenge quests.
Yep.
Yeah, he just has a higher damage ceiling. I mean, he already had a higher damage ceiling. It's just, it was harder to reach.
It was really hard to trigger. Yeah, it was like extremely difficult to trigger.
Like you
You
have to
need
have
to
an enemy
fight,
that
like-
does AoE attacks.
Yeah, but at that
essentially,
point,
or you
you're
have
up
to
against-
RNG it.
At that point, you're up against an enemy that's probably a single
Usually
target.
one enemy.
So
Yeah, one boss.
then you're probably better off picking like a single target saber instead. Because
Yeah.
for it to be worth, he'd have to have like 5 sacks. Then he's doing single target damage.
Oh man, imagine
Oh,
the
wait,
amount
no,
of
it's-
stacks you'll get
Oh no,
when he
it's 10.
eventually what?
Right, it's only 10%. No, it would actually be 10 stacks.
Yeah.
Then he's doing single target damage.
Which you could get after, like if you're attacked 3 times, you attack and crit 3 times, and then the next turn you do 2 crits. I mean, you can get like 70% of the way there, in 2 turns.
No, I mean, in a future challenge quest, you'll be fighting 3 super alcos, and that would be juicy.
Oh, don't make us fight 3 super alcos. Come on.
You'll be fighting 3 super
No,
alcos.
that's just that's just what we're gonna do in the next gauntlet with Marie. Because Marie of the Sand is going to summon 2 shadow clones, and we're just gonna
Ooh.
get attacked 3 times.
That would be. I mean, yeah, she already does that. She already does 3 AoE attacks most of the time. I mean, it's RNG, but I actually hate that because there are some min turns that require. It doesn't require. The moment I figure out how to do it, it's easy. But anyway, sorry, not important. But yeah.
So he's also got some. He's got some other skills, which it's a weird mishmash of niches, and because usually, like when you're looking at niches, it's like, okay, you got like a niche against a defensive niche or an offensive niche, but he's got like
3.
Yeah,
it's such a weird combination too, because
so he has 20% attack for 3 turns. That's the first thing, but then he has 30% anti-demonic damage on the same skill as a 30% anti-divine defense, and then 30 battery. It's just so weird, like a weird spread of effects.
How
Very
often
decentralized.
are you using them to fight divine? Like, how many divine lancers? I mean, there's a couple divine lancers actually.
I'd say there's a
demonic.
decent amount, but if you're up against a lancer, you're probably not going to need the added defense anyways. So that might just be something to more so justify him in situations where you're not against a lancer or against
fight
things
Gilgamesh
that aren't
now.
lancer.
The divine archer.
Yeah, and now he's gonna take 60% more damage instead of.
Scratch
it's
that.
40% more damage instead.
I've got it.
100%.
A Sakabe Hime archer, the divine archer.
Oh jeez.
Is she demonic?
No, but she's divine.
Oh.
I don't know if there's any divine demonic like archers.
Ibuki. Oh no, the archers. No.
I don't think
Probably
so.
not. Ibuki archer. Oh
Yeah,
no, Tomo is
yeah,
not
that's
divine.
Santa Ibuki. It's
Yeah,
coming
Santa
this
Ibuki.
Christmas.
Okay, but Ibuki is divine demonic, so you do get that against Ibuki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, she isn't evil. So he also has 30% quick for 3 turns, 30% crit for 3 turns, and another 50% crit against evil enemies.
This is a pretty juicy one though if you hit it.
Yeah, like he has like 3 niches.
We do hate evil.
Yeah, like evil is a really nice niche to have. Like there's a lot of evil enemies, and also I'd say most demonic enemies are evil. Like, or at least a good amount of them are evil.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, it's a large spread of niches. I think like the only overlap between all 3, I think it's just shooting. Of course.
Oh yeah.
Because Ibuki is an evil, but shooting is divine, demonic, and evil.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're up against shooting, and you feel like using a saber for some reason, then like, yeah, he gets a lot of niches there. Although, like, I feel like the AoE damage is probably going to be what sells it. By the way, the AoE NP, it's a 12 hitter, so it makes a shit ton of stars, and it's got good refund too. Even though his base gain isn't really that good, he has like some of the best quick refund. He does 10% more damage for every heroic king stack. So like every time he crits, yeah, 10% more. We've been over it. And then after damage, it's 20% quick resist down, which can boost your refund on consecutive turns as well as your NP damage.
He does refund less than Okita Alter though. That's his damage is higher, but his refund's a little worse.
Yeah, I mean, also she has way better cards. So
I mean, Okita Alter is like 0.67 gain. So...
yeah, she also has a bit better of a deck for that. Honestly, though, I feel like his NP spam is still really reasonable.
Oh no, it is. It like for farming in 3-3-3. Like if you're using him as just like a normal quick farmer, he's fine.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's because you're 3-turning. Like that. That's kind of the expectation there. But like, even outside of that, like I've used him in quests without Scotty, and he still does spam. Of course, what I'm usually doing, I'm shoveling a bunch of art supporters that have NP gain buffs on them instead. So,
yeah, but it's taking advantage
works.
of the art stack. It's not art stack, but like 2 art stack.
Yeah, and I feel like he's a decent example of when this deck is actually good, because I know you guys prefer like the double buster, double quick, which is generally like the best crit deck. But this type of deck usually takes advantage of the Sergeant that you have and like tries to spam your NP more.
But what if it was double arts, double buster with 1 quick? Huh? Ever thought about that?
I don't think they'll ever make a deck that you cannot do a chain with, like the card.
You cannot do a brave chain. What do you mean?
A full card chain.
Yeah,
a
full
color
card
chain.
Yeah,
but mighty chains exist now, so why does it matter?
Well, I mean, buster chains are going to do more damage than mighty chains, and arts chains get more NP gain. Quick chains get more star gen.
Right, but he doesn't need star gen, so a quick servant would be the perfect one to do that for.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but like they haven't done that until now, and I don't think they will do that.
I don't think that's better for TAs though. Even if we're talking about TAs, I don't think that's better. Just because like quick cards still do a lot of fucking damage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Also, another thing about it being too quick to art is quick cards also do gain. So like you have 4 genning cards. But then again, if we're gonna go crazy, I mean, hey, I've talked about like an arts deck on a quick NP before.
Oh, I thought you were gonna mention Alice, who has like so fucking dumb arts cards, but
her arts cards are crazy.
Yeah, even her quick cards are really good, and then like okay, her arts cards are more than
and they're same hits. Yeah, they're same hits, which is dumb. If you solo without any MP gain boost on your CE, MPAA full refunds.
Yeah, I was actually doing that earlier.
70%. Like MPBA is like 70% or something like that.
Really,
it's pretty ridiculous. I was actually soloing with her earlier, and I had her solo the night quest, the 3 nights one, the one with Robin.
Oh wow.
Saber Lily and that. I gave her Black Grail, which helped, but like she didn't really take much damage. It was just RNGing out the stuns, and managing to get her 3rd skill to proc at the right time. But she did surprisingly well because she's like 858 now. She's still not maxed out, so she's got a 3-turn cooldown on her 3rd skill. But yeah,
which is more than enough. Like honestly, I don't think you click it every 2 turns, but
I mean, she also does have a bond CE that could actually be useful in a certain situation because she gets debuff
What
immunity.
Is it? I forgot.
She gets debuff immunity when she has substitution. I mean, it's 30% MP damage as well, but it also gives her on-demand debuff immunity. So like, it wouldn't be for everything, but if you needed like intermittent debuff immunity, you know, it's not the greatest for damage, but you know, it could work.
I mean, it is in the truest sense a substitution where you don't you just don't get hit by anything. But anyways,
it's like them Pokemons.
Cool. Yeah, but Pokemon, you need to sacrifice 50% HP to make a sub. Or is it 25? I think it's 25. So yeah, like, so she's so broken. Anyways,
I
It's
don't think she's
real
broken.
nice.
You're throwing around the
no,
word
okay,
broken
not
again.
broken. Sorry, she's not broken. Like she is so fun in solo, whatever, survival. She is very good at survival. There you go.
Yeah. Okay, I'm doing the math right quick. Someone mentioned Erish about like her card gains, but I think that Alice actually has better.
No,
card
doesn't
gain
Erish
with
like
it.
refund like 100% off her arts card sometimes?
Erish has the best arts card in the game, I'm pretty sure. The second best is Koyan Sky of Light. If we count the passives. I think.
Okay.
Right?
So
I'm
if
pretty
we're
sure it's
counting like card buffs and skills and like all of the stuff that you have built into your kit, I believe that
Oh, she does have arts card, yeah.
I believe that Uesugi Kenshin actually wins over over Erish.
Uh,
It's only by a hair, but she also has 2 arts cards. So
yeah.
And she
yeah,
crits
if they're
easier.
soloing, yeah.
she has stars per turn and absorb.
Yeah, that's so insane how Art Servant crits easier than than this fucking Buster Servant.
Yeah.
I mean, but Eresh's is still crazy. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think she's
Besides, no one uses Kenshin. Kenshin was a flash in the pan. Like everyone was all hyped for Kenshin, and then people started using Kenshin. Like, you know what? Castoria was better, and then they go back to using Castoria.
Yeah, it's just because she's not doing 1.5. It's the same with Summer Melusine. Summer Melusine's literally Kenshin too. Summer Melusine is the Kenshin to Summer Ibuki. Like it is same thing as Kenshin is to Summer Castoria. Like it's the same thing. Like they just hate on rulers because they don't do 1.5, which is.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it is. It literally is. It's just, oh no, they don't do damage.
And
they don't do
that's
1.5
why
damage.
Summer
They can't
Melusine should get
farm.
an MP buff.
Oh my god.
No,
Yes.
like
Compete
like,
with Ibuki.
like
Compete
no,
with Ibuki? Oh, so you're saying that Ibuki is better?
No,
Ibuki is better.
Ibuki's worse. I stand
Dude,
by the fact.
It's like your brain just hits like a
Have you
short
seen her
circuit,
feet? They're weird.
Like...
No, you,
I'm
I'm
you
gonna fall
got-
back
you
on
got
my
me
ad hominem attacks.
got me mixed up with a different YouTuber if you think I'm like focusing on feet here. Yeah.
To be fair, her feet got ranked pretty high in terms of the feet connoisseur, which is I don't know how that happens.
Are we
because she
talking
essentially
about the
has
shoe tower or what?
She doesn't have feet
No.
though. She just has an extra pair of hands.
Yeah, she has 4 hands, but sometimes it takes a hand to be best feet.
You know, maybe sometimes you shouldn't talk.
So hey, we got Kriemhild. This is something to distract Rio here. Get off that conversation.
White woman.
White woman spotted. I don't know why that meme is so funny to me. So Kriemhild is a single target arts berserker. She's got like pretty like normal gains for a Buster Arts servant. Buster Arts deck, that is. This is actually, it kind of is a bit lower than they oftentimes would with like Arts NP and then Buster Arts deck, because they'll usually go like these days. Okay, back in older days, it was like 1.7, but this is just like 1.6 basically. It's still a good game.
A single arts crit is still enough to fully refund in a Castoria team.
I mean, you could say that about most servants.
That's
though.
true. Yeah, so it's like it's not really a concern.
Yeah, and
a
to be fair,
Castoria
most servants
In a
actually can crit.
Castoria world,
That's what happened with Kenshin. It's like, oh my god, she has such good arts cards. Why do you need to refund 200% from your arts crit? Like, Castoria ruins it again. Thank you so much. Castoria ruins it for everyone, and then proceeds to give her Berserker version like the best to play into her her whole thing, which because she's Berserker, she doesn't actually have that great gains, especially not on the MP refund. But it don't fucking matter because she has a bunch of charge and she's paired with Castoria. So
you do, yeah. Summer Castoria, you do have to remember she also has the same second skill, which is the MP gain up. She gets like 60% MP gain up, 150% arts, has a 70 battery. You know, she'll be fine.
Yeah, but yeah,
So,
Kriemhild
yeah.
is still pretty good as a budget version of.
Yeah, I think that's
Better
just
than
part of why.
Vlad.
I think that's just part of why people downplay Kenshin a lot. She's just a lot less impressive with Castoria around. It's
Yeah.
like I mean, she survives good because ruler, but like who cares? Because you can make anything survive with Castoria. Her gains are really good,
yeah.
but then Castoria.
And then people start bringing in the thing like, oh, if you want to take half from knights, why don't you just bring Draco? So like she is very much hurt by the 2 other single target arts that was released in the same year. Like once again, it like I think if she was I don't even think if she was released like 2 years earlier or something. If she was released at the start of the year, she'd be insane.
Someone said, "How is spammable buff strip not flashy?" Well, Kriemhild actually is the solution to that.
Well, you see,
because most buffs are not strippable.
That's only defensive buffs, though.
Yeah, but that's really what's important. That's what's going to ruin you.
I mean,
it depends.
Invo Pierce
Castoria
is the one. Oh fuck!
All right,
yeah, she has Solemn.
Do you have Solemn up 100% of the time in a team with like Kriemhild, for example?
If I've planned myself correctly, yes.
No.
Like,
Well, like
You don't.
when it
So,
counts,
how-
when it counts,
You
either
don't.
that or I'm using her third skill to taunt. Like you know, she has tools.
Yeah.
Kriemhild actually has tools to get around things. So actually,
But AOE MP or something. I don't know. Whatever. So like, yeah. I mean,
anyways. I don't know.
Kriemhild,
Some
yeah.
people got ass mad that I compared Kenshin and Vlad. Like, I
Why?
feel like it's fair. The thing that I kept seeing brought up is he wins against her man attribute at NP2, which is like, okay, NP2 versus NP1. Like,
actually, there
okay.
is something that was upsetting that I saw. Speaking of Vlad, so you know the current challenge quest in JP against Alco, right?
Mhm.
There's only one single target arts berserker that has done it, as far as I've seen.
And it's Vlad.
And it is Vlad, and I don't know,
Because he has
I presume
upgraded
it's
MP.
just the upgraded MP because
It
like,
is just
okay.
the
Kriemhild and
I
Castoria
present-
just don't have enough damage on the NP, like because I did them both. Well, one I presume it's a 120 Vlad with upgraded MP, and I presume they also have class score because that's the only way I could think of getting that high of
Okay.
damage
So,
on it.
so I personally, I think the reason why he's the only one that's beaten it is because most people haven't thought to try it. Because like,
Okay, but I have the other two 120, and I did try it.
yeah,
and
but
it didn't-
you don't have Berserker class score max, do
I
you?
don't.
Yeah,
No.
that might be it.
Oh, caught
So-
slacking.
Yeah.
But okay. But here's the thing, right? Like, it is kind of surprising because, dude, at this point, somebody probably is there a spreadsheet for this one?
Well, here's the thing. Also, there's yes, there is, but there's 2 runs with Vlad. One of them is normal, like arts thing. It uses Tamamo, Castoria, what's her name, Janako, and Oberon, right? Because she's awful. But the second one is 2 Proto Merlin, Castoria, and Doman because he's chaotic evil.
I'm
And
about
so
to.
it's
I'm
a
about.
crit comp.
I'm
So-
about
so-
to. I'm about to do the same thing with Draco. Hold on.
Bruh.
So if
I don't think
Vlad
they
could
can
pull
do
it off, then wait, but no, yeah, you probably could.
No, Draco's MP's no effect. On extra classes, it has 0. It doesn't have any effect.
So you know what that means? That means you
What?
gotta do it card only.
I don't think I can. Doesn't she have a guts? Wait, does she have a guts?
No, not the first challenge
Oh,
quest.
it's not the star. Of course, I was like, how the fuck did Vlad do the star thing when I tried so hard with a foreigner?
No, this is Alco.
Okay,
Not,
I think Draco can do it.
I have yet to
If
do
Draco
that
can't do
challenge
it, I blame no beast class score.
but also I do
Doma-
think it is like it's definitely also like probably class score because this these videos of Vlad I'm doing, I've seen he's doing way more damage. It's unfair.
All right. So basically, if I do it with Draco, you don't have an excuse. All right, got it. I'm gonna do it
no,
right
wait. Draco has triple buster. It's not fair.
now. Shiny Vulpix. Anyways, keep
Nice.
going.
What?
Oh, man, really not beating the allegations here.
It doesn't even have a mark. What the fuck? Anyways.
Okay, so Kriemhild.
Oh yeah, that.
All right, so are we gonna call her boring too? Because
No, she's great.
because
We
she
love
got
Kriemhild.
because of the tangent that, I mean, it wasn't as much of a tangent as Constantine had, but yeah. So anyways, first skill is AOE charge drain, AOE defense down of 20, and AOE crit chance of 20 down. That is, it's on a 6-turn cooldown, which is kind of impressive because usually with charge drain or NP seal or whatever, they try to keep that higher cooldown just to make sure it's not too spammy, because like I don't know, I guess they're afraid of enemies NPing every now and then they make Marie alter, so like whatever.
I mean,
Anyways,
it's just a one drain and a small defense down. It's not a crazy defense down. This skill is probably her weakest skill.
I mean,
yeah, I'd say so.
what happened?
What?
What?
Did it disconnect?
No.
No?
Oh, what?
What?
And forget what I said. Sorry. Keep going.
No. So we were
Plus
saying we
she-
think this is her weakest skill. Is that what you were commenting on?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably. Well, she has the 50 battery taunt. What's the other one? Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
guess
It's her
the-
second
the-
skill.
I think the Vulpix is doing something to
The
him.
Vulpix has
you
ruined his
might wanna
brain.
s-
He-
no, it's
might
not.
wanna
It's
stop
not. I
playing
got. I
just like
heard
you
the
want right now.
I heard the disconnect notification.
Mhm.
he saw a shining Vulpix and he got really excited. And his thoughts emptied.
Doesn't even have the mark I want. Anyways, keep going.
Alright. So, second skill, it's 30% Buster and Arts, so it affects every card except for one, because it affects her NP, and then she's got Buster Art stack. So the quick card is like, yeah, neglected for
We ignore that
like,
card.
whoever cares. And then she also has anti-chaotic of 30, and not 30, 50%
50.
for 3 turns. I tried to say 3 and 50 at the same time. So anti-chaotic, like
Thrifty.
there's a lot of chaotic servants here.
Yeah, but it's just a small P mod.
I mean, it's 50%.
50%
It's
is
the same
not
as-
Oh, it's
small.
50. I thought it was
applies to her
30. I'm
MP.
sorry.
If it was
No,
I
like
thought it was 30.
if it was
I
like
apologize.
50% crit, that's one thing, but this is like all over damage increases.
No,
And
okay.
that's-
Okay, I'm stupid. I thought it was 30.
It's a 50% P-Bod, and so, like, I mean, yeah, there are some foreigners with it, but aside from the foreigners, what she's gonna hit everyone else fine.
See, I still have beef with her, even though in the one Gina banner I did get her to MP 15. Unfortunately, but
Stop
You know.
fighting Kriemhild.
dude,
You know, else has anti-chaotic Castoria. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
got so
weird that
many
they
of
both
her-
got that.
I got so many of her in one fucking pity. It's insane. Anyways, but
Okay.
yeah,
So the
I think-
last skill
sorry.
is
There you go.
50% battery for herself. Self-heal of 3000, which is like one of the smallest aspects of her entire kit, but it's like it's all right. Heals are just not as welcome on berserkers because they effectively have a lot less HP than most people.
I still soloed Prison Tower with her.
Yeah, but that's because you did a lot of damage, not because you lived a long time.
Well, no, the heal. That heal with the heal up command code. You know, it's 4500. You know, it's still
Yeah,
a
but
decent
Dude, you
heal.
take 4500 in
berserker.
one turn of like you take more than 4500 in one turn of.
You take
being attacked.
4500. you take like fucking you take like 10,000 if Fergus touches you weird, right? Like that's a bad way to put it, but you know what I mean.
Look, but
I
still,
mean,
it
he's a
did
gentleman.
counteract some of the the damage that was done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
useful.
mean, like, yeah, but like we're talking about making up for one turn of damage every 6 turns.
Okay. I have another proposal for this, right? So like, remember when he was talking about how in the Castoria comp she never gets hit?
Ah,
But but do you know how she can take damage? Black Grail. That's right. This will offset 9 turns worth of Black Grail damage. What a deal. Call
Checkmate.
088 whatever.
no, it's
Rio
actually
is not a
it's actually 6
lolicon.com.
turns.
Do you mean
6 turns
1-800
away.
Rio's not a lolicon.com?
Yeah,
Wait,
there you go.
why are we mixing up phone numbers and websites?
I don't know, whatever.
1-800 not a lolicon.com. What?
I'm-
Keep going.
Why did someone make a website? Are you that insecure about it?
No one's made a website, and I'm not.
All right, well,
All right.
yeah, so that's the skill.
It
Yeah,
is
it's
a
a
really good
skill.
skill, though. Like
Yeah,
a targetable
yeah,
taunt.
like dude,
on
there's
a-
only like 3 servants that have it, and she's on the
She
class
probably
that
uses it best.
benefits from it the most.
I mean,
Yeah.
let's see. Kiritsugu, no one uses. Shengon's is usually used on himself to
Well-
get rid of when you don't need him anymore.
Well, yeah, since he's a support, it makes a lot of sense, and he also makes sense like with berserkers. It's just like target focus benefits berserkers the most because even when they're in a good use case, they're taking more damage than most people.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then like she's a berserker, so she can not only direct the damage away from herself, she can also direct it towards herself, and like that's good because berserkers have high innate defensive NP gain.
I do that all the time as well. You feel Castoria buffs on her.
Doo-doo.
I do. Oh, we're 5. Welcome. Yeah, too bad her passives are non-existent. I wish she had more passives.
Madness enhancement. What's her madness
I mean, it's
enhancement?
12%.
It's EX. Like,
Yeah,
but that's
see-
her
Oh,
only
it's nice.
passive.
See, she's a woman, so she gets an EX rank. Like,
Wow.
no. I'm not saying that to be sexist. It's actually just true. There's so many
Vlad.
women that have it. Okay,
Isn't Vlad EX?
so there's Nightingale, Kiyohime, Kiyohime again,
Gilderay.
Canis, is
Arjuna
complicated.
Arjuna Ultra is basically a woman.
Yeah, but then you
Spartacus.
look at like these lower ones. Okay, well, you got a lower rank on those two. It's
Okay, but
just
look at
like
rank
there's
E. It's mostly women as well, except for Kentucky.
yeah, but they basically don't have madness enhancement. All right.
I will say there are a lot of women with madness.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah,
again,
I
there's
mean,
just more
I
women in the
didn't do that.
game.
I don't know. It's just like this. I've always gotten the feeling that there were a lot of. Okay, so I think when I made that observation first, there was less servants that had like low ranks of it that are females.
Maybe you
I don't
just
know.
hate
Making
women.
maybe I'm just making. Dude, I don't hate women. I fucking love women. What are you talking about?
You know, having sex with women without the purpose of procreation is gay, or something. I forgot what that is. I forgot what he said.
What a
I forgot what
psycho
Andrew-
Plushy,
thing to
what the
say.
fuck are you talking about?
That's
He's
Andrew
speaking-
Tate. He said like having sex for the purpose of not procreation is gay or something. I don't.
Then he's the gayest man around because I okay, whatever.
You don't know if
whatever.
he's doing that to
Okay,
the children
whatever.
he's trafficking.
Show this.
So
it's Ben
anyways,
Shapiro. What the
it's
fuck?
Ben
Anyway, sorry.
Shapiro. Okay, wow, there's
Is
a big
it Ben
difference.
Shapiro? No way, it's Ben
I don't
Shapiro.
know.
I mean,
I
that
don't-
makes
I don't think
that makes
that's-
more
I think
sense.
that's
He's
too
like
inflammatory for Ben Shapiro, even
he's married, so it makes more sense. Andrew Tate is not married. Why are we talking about Andrew Tate and Ben Shapiro?
though.
Like,
She
you
loves
guys-
Andrew Tate and Ben Shapiro.
I do not like Andrew Tate. What do you
Okay,
mean?
but do you like Star Wars?
No, I've never watched Star Wars. Why?
Ah, so he is an Andrew Tate fan. That was like
Wait,
the
wait,
first
wait.
thing that was when he
What?
first blew up. He was I think he was like belittling people who liked Star Wars It's so
Why?
random. I don't know. It works though.
Because he's like, I want to bully nerds like I'm back in high school or something like that.
Oh, wait until. But didn't he post stuff about anime? Like, I watch anime too. But,
I'm
like, I
so
thought
confused about that.
I thought
don't
people
know.
make fun of weebs more than I don't know Star Wars people.
Yeah, dude, he started identifying with weebs to dodge the trafficking allegations, because that's like it was like right after he got arrested that happened.
Officer, she's 5,000 years old.
So we mentioned it earlier. Kriemhild has defensive buff removal before damage,
Which is
really
good.
nice.
Yeah.
It even purges anti-purge defense.
Unless it's Alice's.
Which is strange because it's called anti-purge defense, and it does in fact get purged by this.
Yeah,
The
and
only
then
the real anti-purge defense is the Robin.
Yeah, and it's not even called anti-purge defense.
Wait,
even
can
though it works
Robin
like
not?
that.
Oh yeah, it can't be purged.
Yeah, it can't be purged. It's so funny because the wording is it's anti-purge defense that cannot be purged. Thank you so much.
Amazing.
Thank you so much for the sentence. Anyways.
Yeah, this is yeah. Dude, it's so
Wait,
funny
it also
because
removes
it's
lethal
the same
damage evasion.
Dude, the same
What?
It removes
the same
it
event
removes
gave us
Sojiro.
the same event gave us a
that's
servant
just an
that
evade.
uses evade that prevents the servant from dying.
Yeah. I
This is
mean-
very
I mean-
redundant phrasing.
I mean, it is just evade, but it's like evade but conditional, so it's
Yeah.
understandable that he can.
Yeah,
evade.
But
it
it's
prevents
interesting.
you from dying.
It is
Huh.
interesting, yeah.
And then more damage to dragons.
Yeah,
She
150%.
hates dragons.
Yeah, dude.
And
Stole
he's
it from her
nuts.
husband. Her first husband. It's a weird situation. And then she also has Vlad's overcharge. 20% arts resist down after damage.
Vlad's overcharged, but without the star bomb.
Yeah, dude.
Uh huh.
I sure
lame.
do like not critting with the stars I make. But,
They
yeah.
should buff her MP to give stars and increase her star.
How many?
gather.
Yeah, make it a static
yeah.
20% and make the overcharge dragon. So
Yeah,
it could
that-
go over
It's
50%.
amazing how you just want all of your characters to become Summer Castoria, you know, like.
Well, you know what they say.
All toasters toast.
What?
You know what they say?
Ah,
You give
old
Berserker Star
toasters.
Absorb, they start to forget their place.
Speaking of Kriemhild, this Twitter post came up on my thing, and I thought it's a really funny picture.
Shit.
About Kriemhild?
I don't have Photoshop.
Many will
open.
die. Oh, okay, yeah.
Give me a
She was like the reason of everything going to shit. I'm pretty sure. I read that a long time ago. I don't fucking remember. It wasn't even
dude.
for like a class. It was for like another game or something. I don't remember.
Dude, I
yeah.
opened up my snipping tool, and the last thing I had was still on there. Something I posted on Twitter. I screenshotted some of the rankings for Gamepress, like when for Bazit. Just like they have it democratic for some fucking reason. And
What?
they had like she would have been B+, but someone voted C- just to get her lower. Like,
Who?
fucking-
Oh, Meliran?
yeah.
Dude, I already fucking remember their name at this point. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we love
they have bad
Gamepress.
taste. They're so impossibly bad at rating.
But
Yeah,
they're in our Grand Orders. Help
I
channel,
believe
apparently.
that Rabbit
I don't think they're
rated
the same
Alco's
people.
defensive utility poorly. Which
What did Rabbit say about her? Another shiny pulpit?
He also gave Alice a 2 out of 10 on offensive utility, and like, I don't know, sure hit. I feel like that's more than 2. Like, I mean, sure.
She has
like,
a scalable OC boost. Like, yeah, I kind of get. It's like, oh my god, caster damage is so bad. But like, I don't know.
But the thing is, Caster damage doesn't have to be bad.
This is what
It
we're
does.
talking about.
Well, oh, okay. She also has really low attack stat. Like her MP damage is not good. But there are situations.
Keep the Twitter tag in view.
Oh
so
yeah.
people can see it.
Oh yeah. Credit to Gato. And it's not like the cat way of saying Gato.
But I do like it. It's like, I don't know how to say that name. Nibelungenlied.
Nibelungenlied.
Yeah, it's like first chapter ends like this. Many will die because of her.
Damn.
It was just a funny picture I saw yesterday.
Yeah, it's funny. I like how she's drawn. Why is she so mad? It's a good question, dude.
You should read the story.
Isn't she like just super jealous or something? Like I don't remember. Yeah, she's just like, or she prophesies to kill her husband. I don't remember what actually happened, but like it happens a lot. It's like, oh, you know, the prophecy says you will kill your husband, and then she tries like her best. Like
spoilers,
like,
guys. Spoilers,
Oedipus the King,
dude.
We're not talking about Traum.
Are we?
I'm not talking about Traum. I'm talking
I don't
about
even know, honestly.
Yeah,
it's actually. All right, look. I don't know. It's not spoilers. We gotta clarify that it's not spoilers.
I don't actually know the story. I could be wrong about that.
What if they haven't read the Nibelungenlied?
It could be. It could be.
If they haven't read the Nibelbungeldungle, then you know that's their own problem.
It could be Brynhild. I don't remember which one it is. But like, I mean, they're confusing anyways. Like, okay, it is Brynhild. All right, I fucked.
But they're
up.
the same thing. They're just the same story told through different like interpretations and countries and cultures.
It's like one is German, one is like I don't fucking remember, dude.
Yeah, how many hundreds of years has been out? That's no excuse.
Oh, did I get it?
Look, no matter how many hundreds of years, there's going to be at least one person that'll cry about spoilers. I remember a friend of mine telling a story about one time he went to a theater to rewatch like one of the old Star Wars movies, and this is like well over 20 years after it came out, and his friend yelled, what was it? It was either Han Solo. I don't think it was Han Solo because that is a more recent one, but I think he said Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father, and there was like a kid that started crying because they didn't know.
I am your father.
Or is it what was it? He did. I don't.
It is, yeah. Darth Vader is Luke.
Yeah, Darth Vader.
Darth
Vader also died, but yeah.
Yeah.
Or was it? Was it Obi-Wan? I don't know, man. This was literally 10 years ago. So
I am your father. Dude, I never watched Star Wars. I only know I am your father, and I have the high ground.
It came back to Star Wars. How did it come back to Star Wars?
Because you just love Star Wars.
It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground. That's all I know about Star Wars. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I'm just not as cool as Andrew Tate and his tater tots.
It's over, Andrew Tate. I have the legal something. I don't know, whatever.
The legal high
ground. I have Pokemon that furries like a lot. I mean,
I got the chosen one. I got the chosen one mark now. I'm pretty happy. Anyways, keep going.
Yeah. So like I'm so like going back to Gamepress, like I try to be pretty good, like I try to be pretty good faith about it to some extent. Like I want to okay, I'm saying the wrong things here. I try to give credit to Rabbit because he's like the only one of them that I can tell plays the game. But like he destroyed the last of my goodwill earlier because I was just looking through like a lot of the personal ratings throughout all of them. And like this is like so easily telegraphed here. Guess what he voted for Ibuki. And by voted for
Saber
Ibuki,
or Berserker?
Saber Ibuki, and that's I'm talking about like
Sabuki probably B-.
B-.
Damn. Damn. I mean,
What
you
did give her?
mean you mean what would I give her, or what
No,
would
guess
what
what
I...
he gave her?
I think B-. If you're bringing it up, it has to be low.
Plus, you want to guess?
B.
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 So he voted C.
Oh,
Why?
worse than I thought.
What's his reason?
I don't know. I don't know how.
See,
That is, you know
Well, and
who
here's the
is
thing,
C
he doesn't
plus?
have a review for Ibuki either.
Altera without her battery upgrade was C plus.
see, here, I don't know how that's possible,
I just
but
genuinely don't understand it. I hope for his sake that the person that wrote up that page just like mistyped.
I mean, okay, so like here's the thing. We also disagree with App Media all the time, but App Media writes every reason as to why he put them there.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
no,
that is
I found
very
his
important.
review. He says Ibuki's most direct competition is Artoria and Mordred, and Altera, I suppose. Artoria hits much harder in burst in exchange for less sustain, while she and Mordred both have the ability to battery loop even with just standard kaleidoscope, although this runs into a problem as Ibuki and that their damage while they're looping is super low, so probably not worth it. The larger issue, though, is that she's in contention with these two. Our existing AoE Buster Sabers aren't shining examples of what a powerful servant should be. They're pretty mediocre, and Ibuki doesn't make herself appealing enough to target to justify being a limited alternative to a general pool option. She's an easy skip, even if you don't have her competition. Now, this review matches how I felt when Ibuki came out, but you can't evaluate Ibuki and Saber and Mordred today and have a tier list that you update without taking these into consideration, because an AoE Buster Saber at the time did have less value when Ibuki came out. Because remember, Ibuki came out and then right away Muramasa came out, and everyone jumped on Muramasa. Everyone's like, Ibuki was bait.
That's the other
She's not
half
good.
of it.
You know, Muramasa's the looping art saber. Yeah,
that's
and
the
then,
other half of it. It's just he also gave him an A. Of course, like I mean, everyone else. Everyone else gave him A plus.
So his reasoning in his review
entire tiers
and his score does match the game at the time. Well, I think it's still a little too harsh for the game at the time.
Yeah,
but it's
like,
understandable for the game at the time. But I don't think
the take is understandable, but the ranking is just way too low. Like that is unfairly low comparatively.
Yeah. Especially considering doesn't she has ignore invul on her MP, right?
That's ignore invul, defense ignore,
and defense ignore. Yeah, like just utility wise, like he gives an offensive utility of a 2 out of 10, by the way. Like which, there's
triple B.
What even is offensive utility to this guy?
So, but yeah, also, when was this written though? This was written in 2020. So
what even is offensive?
Yeah, this was written. So this was written at the time of JP review. So
offensive utility is like looping damage, right?
Well, yeah. Or who knows?
You couldn't loop still, right?
Who knows what Gamepress things mean, because their metrics mean nothing. His numbers mean nothing. But here's the problem.
Did Koyan Light come out at that point?
1 out of 10 on defensive utility.
Koyan Light.
Okay, to be fair, that's not survival.
Remember, Ibuki came out before Koyan's came out, and back when Buster was considered a bad card type. Like you wanted servants to be arts or at least quick, but you didn't want servants to be Buster back then. That is what that was. That is how people felt. That's how I felt. That's why I think the game nowadays is, after Summer Scotty comes out, the game is so much better because you have all 3 card types. They all do different things slightly differently. You can use all of them and they're all fine. And no one needs to have these jerk off contests of my card type is better. It's
so people still have that. They just hate quick. But also some people still give me shit for saying. I remember when Melusine first came out before Oberon, I was like, okay, yes, it's really strong in CQs, but there's no way to make her Buster loop. Which is true!
It was.
But
See,
then Oberon
see,
came.
the thing is,
fucking
it actually
shut up.
was possible to, but then her wave 1 damage is like,
Yeah, it was
piss.
really bad. It used it like
Well, yeah,
Prisma
you can do
Cosmos.
like, yeah, Prisma Cosmos 250 like, bro.
well, either that or you save her first skill for the next turn. Actually, that might have still been the case.
It was.
Oh, it's
her looping, her
So all you had
triple looping
was
back then was really weird.
all she had for that turn, like for turn 1 back then was her 20% buster. I think that was it.
Was Vitch even out when Melusine first came out?
No.
Yeah,
No.
so like
I thought you were the
Melusine-
Melusine fan. Why are you asking us?
right, that's what I'm saying. I'm making sure I'm not remembering correctly because I remember, and I've looked at my own VODs thinking Melusine was very cool, but I'm like, there's really no practical use for this character.
See? Exactly. I wasn't crazy, and people are like, "Oh my god, Plushie is such a bad." Well, it's not a lot
But
of people.
I was like, because when Melusine came out, I rolled like 2 copies, and I'm like, that's all I'm gonna do. It's really not worth going further.
Yeah, because people are like, "Oh my god, he has such bad takes." Remember when he said? I mean, obviously, this is not the most like brought up thing. The most brought up thing is I said Draco was not insane, right? So like, yeah, I will never live that down, like ever. The Draco's not insane, but whatever.
But that's why I think it's good to reevaluate.
No.
I've shown it on here before. I've shown the tier list I made like 3 years ago around the same time as these, and I have like the dumbest takes in here of like Santa Martha being at the bottom and I call her trash. Like, you know what? You have to sometimes reevaluate, and that's what Gamepress doesn't do. They never go back and reevaluate their tier list with any actual like effort, which is crazy because Rabbit should at least know, because Rabbit is reviewing JP's servants. So when they're rating Bazette, for example, or not Bazette, like when they're rating Ibuki Saber, they're updating that tier list as it comes out in NA. So they know in NA that Koyan exists, but they're still so stupid that they ignore that fact and they put her in C.
Also, like, okay, so you cannot let MPs crit, by the way.
Yes,
this
yeah, that's why I
I
got mad for a second there. So I think, and I know this might piss some people off because I know some people genuinely hold to this. I think NP's critting is one of the stupidest fucking ideas that this community has come up with for a long time.
That is really dumb.
So like, no offense to you, because like whatever, but look,
it's common,
what does it solve?
At least,
because when we look at quick servants, what is the problem with quick servants? What is the problem that people see with them? Is it damage? No. As a matter of fact, when it comes to pumping out damage as fast as possible, quick is the best. So like,
yeah, they just wanted to crit to
so
boost refund, double refund, basically.
Okay, well, it that might be a bit different, but I still think like more damage. That's
way too much.
So,
like,
so fun fact, guys, did you know that quick NPs already do the most damage? Like, they already do like 7 or 8% more than other NP types, just because they messed up with the scaling when they first made the game. So, on top of that, like when we look at the respective card type boosters, like unless you're counting Castoria's NP, Scotty gives you the biggest damage bonuses too, while also giving you 50% charge. That is. Also, if you make it so NPs can crit, what happens next? Okay, where do we go from there? So now quick NPs can crit, and then one of them is gonna fall behind, and it's like, okay, well, Buster NPs aren't as impressive because they don't do as much damage. So they make it so Buster NPs can crit, and then eventually Arts NPs can crit, and then we're back at square one. Everyone
So
can
now you've
crit
doubled
NP,
the damage
and then
in
it's
the game,
quick.
and
Yeah,
you've doubled
and then
the damage
okay,
in the
now
game now for
this
no
is basically
reason.
power creep. It's
Yeah,
basically
it's
power
just
creep,
like-
right? So like number power creep.
We're just gonna be chasing our tails because like this is actually something we chatted about. Plushie and I chatted about like right after stream, right after the podcast ended last week. The reason why they have, I think the reason why they haven't given like a big buff to Quick is just because they
It's
don't want
dangerous.
Buster. They don't want Buster to die. I mean, it's obviously
Yeah.
not going to die, but like if Quick gets like a little boost, if they get more options or something, Buster is the worst.
And here's the thing, I don't see, like, because it's crazy that people think that Quick is so dramatically worse than Buster, because Buster to loop requires either 50% starting charge and swap or a K-scope. Whereas Quick, most of a lot of them can do it just with a 50% charge and no swap, and then has a couple Black Grail ones, like, or no starting charge. Quick objectively loops better than Buster does, and does more damage. Like, only difference is that Buster doesn't care about the formation and Quick does.
Yeah.
But for most, outside of 90 plus, it doesn't matter.
Also, I want to point out right quick, we're batting 2 for 2 this year on 90 pluses that have 6 enemy waves. So refund it hasn't been too big of a problem as of late.
Yeah. So like the Quick does not have a problem.
I actually was farming this.
The player base have a fucking problem. Okay, sorry, don't clip that. But
I was farming this
wasn't
90
even
plus
paying attention. What?
with a front line of Summer Scotty, Alice, and Alco, and I was doing just fine.
Well, yeah, it's 6 enemies, but like, yeah, I mean, the Quick never had a problem. People just very much like to. It's the same with like Constantine being bad. It's just something that the community likes to talk about, and then like they eventually believe it, right? Like you keep saying Quick is bad, and then like 2 of your friends say, okay, yeah, Quick is bad, and then 2 of their friends say Quick is bad, and then now everyone thinks Quick is bad, and then when you ask why Quick is bad, they can't give you a good fucking answer, right? It's just farming. Like technically, Quick is quote unquote the worst at farming in single core, but that is such an outdated thing that it doesn't, like, if you actually tried to farm in JP, like in modern like standards, it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. Like if you can pull another AoE damage dealer that has charge out of your ass, you don't need a fucking refund anymore, right? So like the game is just in a completely different state that people like to use this like outdated outdated standard to because like every game needs to have a target to bully, right? In Fate Grand Order, it's Quick the card type. It like everyone has to, like every game has to have something to make fun of, and right now in FGO it's Quick. But FGO is not a competitive game, so there's absolutely no way of objectively proving those people are wrong, right? The only way that they can be proven wrong is Lasengo actually became like went full retard and actually buffed Quick by a bunch, and then Quick suddenly becomes the most broken shit ever, and then people are gonna be like, oh fuck, I was wrong. Well, too late. We just got Castoria 2 and the game became even worse. So I genuinely like Quick is like the hard, like it's so dangerous. It is so dangerous to buff Quick because Quick is a card type that does everything. So if you let a card type that does everything also be the best at one of the things they do, then all other card types are gonna look like fucking garbage, right? So like if you are a jack of all trades and master of all trades, then you're broken, right? So like
I mean, Mighty Chains also buffed them considerably.
Mighty Chains buffed them. They buffed Quick Chains as a whole. Now when you lead with a Quick card, all your cards have a crit chance. Like there are legitimate cases where you do more damage, even if it's not a Mighty, when you lead with Quick compared to Buster, because now you hit the RNG and you get to crit with one of your cards, right? So like the Quick does not have an issue. Quick lead used to have an issue. Now it doesn't, right? Like for example, if I'm soloing with Alice, why do I get to like MPAA and then consistently crit both arts cards? Because I get 20% more crit chance on both of my arts cards out of nowhere, right?
And you also
on
make
top
a
of
bunch
the
of
MP
cards.
generating cards.
Someone
Yeah,
mentioned,
on top of the MP.
someone asked, doesn't Quick get more buffs from OC? Yes, Quick gets a 60% critical buff Whereas Buster
From class
gets
scores.
20% from class score.
Yeah, they try to
It is-
equalize card damage,
Yeah,
which is dumb because Quick is supposed to have a bad card damage because it gens MP, gens
so-
stars, and it does damage still.
Like when you're not using a bunch of crit supports, quick crits actually do more damage than the busters because it's 20 buster, 40 arts, 60 quick. And then there's
Buster's
another 10%. So it's
1.5, right?
actually
Quick is
total.
0.8. So like
It's actually 70% because there's a 10% for everyone. So it's
It
30,
should be
50, 70.
I assume it's close. I assume they balance it so when you multiply them,
So-
they are like close. But
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
How much damage is the card buff?
20%. 20%.
So it's
it's
20%.
universal, right?
So it's
That's universal.
oh,
Which
okay.
does make a big
Okay,
difference
actually,
when you think
Buster
about it.
Buster cards should still do more damage because like they're just at base Buster cards instead.
1.5. 1.5 times 1.2 versus. I mean, the more crit buffs you have, yeah, the more it gets diluted. So it's 1.5 times 1.2 versus 0.8 times 1.6, right? So yeah, the 1 times 1.2 should be higher.
Yeah.
It's 1.8 versus 1.6 times 0. Okay, it's 1. Okay, so it's Buster. Obviously, Buster still hits harder, but like they're even trying to equalize. Like they've been helping Quick a lot, right? Like they've been helping Quick a lot. They equalized a lot of things that people had problems with Quick. I don't think Quick needs a better support because when people say they want a Quick buff, they don't actually mean they want a Quick buff, because we did get a Quick buff. We got a mechanical buff. Okay,
And
also
Summer Scotty
Summer
happened.
and Summer
Like,
Scotty. Yeah,
there is what they want is they want what they actually want is they don't want a quick buff. They want quick stall teams, and they want basically Castoria but quick.
it's so boring. What is wrong with you?
Damn.
But
Not
also
you,
Castoria but quick seems terrible because if you're doing like a quick end, so this Castoria is hypothetical has a quick MP, your servant has a quick MP, and then you're throwing in like another servant. You're not doing like a quick chain or an arts chain. You're doing this horrible mismatch, and you're not getting like the MP game benefits of an art support MP. It's like
arts are traditional. I mean, I guess what they mean is just it's still arts MP, and she's still triple arts. It's literally Castoria, but the mana burst is 50% quick up. Like that's what they want.
But I actually don't think that's better. Like some Scotty is 50% quick up and then 15% quick up. So it's literally the MP gain on the quick cards is 5% less, right? That's really that is it. Like it wouldn't even really be that much extra NP gain.
Yeah, so do you know what's the problem? Do you know what this boils down to? Castoria. It's her fault again because she spoiled everyone where I'm supposed to have instant access to the entire team being immune to MPs.
So,
otherwise I'm not a good support.
So yeah, basically the problem is what people perceive as a balanced state is all three are able to do the same things, but the thing is
boring as fuck,
yeah,
dude.
but the
like,
thing is
come on.
some of them are supposed to have advantages over the others in certain areas and be weaker in different areas. So like that's the entire criticism of Quick not being good because everything else can crit. It's making them more equal in some regard, but it's still not even like entirely the case because Quick has evolved from quick cards do good damage and make stars and make NP to Quick makes all of your cards do more damage and
a higher chance to
get more gains because you're critting so much.
Yeah, I'm sorry for being that mean because like obviously this is a tired topic. Like we've been through this. We've been through this so many times, and it's just people are still convinced that Quick is dog shit, right? Like I make tweets pointing this out, pointing how silly this is, And then, obviously, some people think I'm engagement farming because of that. I'm not. I
Okay,
truly
okay,
believe.
hold on.
Speaking of engagement
Wait,
farming,
wait,
that
wait,
Koyan post, that Koyan
What?
post tricked me for a second. I was
Oh.
streaming and someone mentioned it, and I pulled up on stream and I'm like, oh no, he's gone full stupid.
I didn't suggest that, by the way. The story behind that was Sunder didn't have time to post it on his own channel, so he threw me the raw clip. He told me to upload it, but make it a joke, where I ditched Koyan and I won 20 Kukulkan. That's the story behind that, right? So like,
Well,
there
yeah,
you go.
I know it's a joke, but it was like it tricked me. It tricked me
Nice.
at first,
Good.
and I was like, "Oh
Good.
no, I called you a cuckoo cuck." That's what I said.
Oh, okay. You didn't say the abbreviation of that, did you?
No, what do you mean abbreviation?
KKC? What's wrong with that?
Oh, okay. Oh, it's KKC. Never mind. I thought you. Sorry, I thought that was a K.
The
that was a-
KKK?
No,
spell
you-
cuck with a
okay.
K?
Yeah, okay. No, I thought that was that joke. I thought that was the joke.
I mean,
Anyways,
It's just alliteration.
Cuckoo is already-
cuck
Cuckoo
comes
is
off-
already
it
close
rolls
enough
off
Kukulkan is
there.
already KK.
Yeah,
Kukulkan
okay,
is already-
okay.
Okay, never mind. All right.
Let's get back on
So-
topic, all right? The topic
So,
Yeah.
is like so many
So-
miles in the past.
okay, sorry. So I will apologize for being that mean because like I don't know who left the chat because I was like screaming at you. I'm not screaming at you. I apologize. I just want to sum this up really quickly. I do understand like there are a lot of things Quick can get that can help them. Like if Quick gets a 30 spread charger, right? Then Quick would be decent, really decent in multi-core, right? I understand, or like if Quick had a budget support, even though like yeah, Quick does have the least budget supports. I will give you that. Like if we count Quick supports as someone who gives Quick up, then yes, Quick has the least budget supports. I do believe there are just supports that don't give Quick ups that does work well with Quick. Ironically, Shufu. But I understand people's sentiment behind that. But like you do have to realize Buster really isn't much better in that regard. So when you use Tonaliko in a comp, she's not Buster. Like her MP's Buster. It's not a Buster comp. Just ask Rio. Who does he pair Tonaliko with? An art servant, right?
Yeah,
all the time.
Tonaliko doesn't get Buster buffs. That's why I have her 120 is to rely on just raw damage, and to support Castoria. Like Castoria to nuke whatever I need to do.
Yeah, and you can also like I've seen you do comps where you sub out. Oh, you can't sub her out for a Draco. I guess it's
No, you
sometimes
can.
like
I mean, when I
if you
when
need
I use-
overcharge from another source.
when I use Draco, my common
Use the
pairing
rats, right?
is Dicoctin and Draco.
Yeah, the rats.
which is a
Yeah.
psychotic pairing, but I also don't use quick buffers for that.
See,
So
it's fine. So like there are a lot of you don't need to have a quick up icon. Is what I'm trying to say. You don't need to have a quick up icon in your kit to be a quick support or whatever. And like the only Buster spread charger. Do you know who's the only Buster spread charger multi-core multi-core support / DPS? Koyan Dark. Nobody likes her. All right, literally nobody thought she was good. Right? Not even I think she's good. Right? Like
it's only
nobody
30%
thinks.
charge.
See,
If,
like
if it was 50, it
30%.
should be fine.
No, I mean, yeah, but like 30 spread charge is good, but like people don't really think she's good. So like I don't understand the argument of Buster being better at multicore. Buster being better at multicore may be result from like better individual servants, but it's not there really isn't a centralized like SSR unit for that argument either. So like I just feel like people need to like another thing, right? If you're multi-coring with Summer Scotty has team-wide like you can pair her with, she has team-wide buff. Yeah, you can pair her with Buster, you can pair her with Quick. Right? There's a lot of flexibility.
if you're looking at like the premier supports, the worst for multi-core is Buster, because
I do
Korean
wish,
only
though-
buffs one target.
I do wish though there was a spread charger for Quick. That would make like that. It doesn't need to be stronger than Scotty. That's the thing. We don't. It doesn't need to be stronger than either of the
But
Scotties.
there's no spread charger for
I just
Buster
need-
either, though.
I mean, oh,
Oberon's, you can't count him.
So something
I mean,
Okay,
I'm
other than
technical,
Oberon,
something I've
there's no
kind
spread
of
chargers for Buster.
something I've kind of felt a bit. Like this might not entirely be like a multi-core type of thing, but I feel like Aoko is actually pretty decent for helping quick farm, because like AoE 20
Charge per
twice,
turn,
and then also
Rainbow.
30% quick. So like I mean I guess you
Yeah.
can use it for art support too, but like we got some.
I've been pairing her with Alice. I do quite like it. Yeah, I know what you mean, because like sometimes giving a quick refund boost doesn't always equate to 20 extra charge, right? Like very often it doesn't. So
No, for Safe Shonagon, that's for sure. Boy, Safe Shonagon, I've almost got her 120 in NA, and you know, people said not to do it, and I'm doing it anyway because it's funny. But boy, is she terrible.
Damn.
But yeah, I mean, I apologize if I sound too. I've never like a nice guy. All right, I've never been a good person. If you've joined my server's voice chat, you know I'm not a good person. But I apologize. I don't mean to be like,
you're passionate. You're not a bad person. You're passionate.
Yeah, I don't mean to be like angry. I'm not actually angry at people who wants quick buff. What I'm trying to say is I think sometimes it's just a bit absurd, right? Like it just goes. It's just a bit absurd, right? Like how much more do you want before you're satisfied with quick?
Yeah.
Right?
Plushie isn't a nice guy. He finishes first. I'm sorry, that was a really
from experience.
You know, let's go to Roland.
Let's go, Roland.
Yeah, Roland.
Anyways,
I've had him sitting here for like 10
who everyone
minutes.
calls who I think for the longest time everyone dumpstered on, and they still do, rightfully so, but not because of anything's wrong with his kit. His kit's really good. He's actually super good. He just unfortunately is on the same rate up as Kriemhild, and everyone hates him because he keeps showing up instead of Kriemhild.
He dresses up like Passion Lip.
Also, he looks really stupid. I do think his design is one of the dumbest in the game, and I hate it. It is Passion Lip's outfit, but on a guy, and it looks dumb. Passion Lip looks dumb, but it's excusable.
Hey, that's mean.
Look, I like.
It really is Passion Lip's outfit, though.
Yeah, have you seen like the original? Pull up like the no, don't pull it up on here. But look like Passion Lip's original like CCC design. It is quite literally this, with the straps and everything.
Even got the plumy pants.
Yeah, so it's like, it's quite literally Passion Lip's outfit, but on a guy, and it just looks dumb because he's missing the massive honkers.
Like, if you asked me, like, his third ascension, like, if I didn't know who he was, I would guess, like, the emperor, not the fucking Disney movie, but, like, the story, the king, the naked king, and everybody told him he's wearing clothes. Is that the emperor's?
The emperor's
what
new
was
clothes.
this? New clothes? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally the two things you were saying put together. Yeah.
Yeah, the emperor, whatever. Right?
Yeah, he's not bad.
It's dumb. But yeah, his kit is pretty solid. Anyway,
like it's actually really solid. I'm shocked, but like statistically, I've looked on Rayshift. He has like 2 120s. Like that is so few.
That
like,
I think that's. I would attribute that less so to his popularity and more so to the fact that he's a permanent 4-star. That's the worst group to try to 120.
Permacoins are pretty.
But
bad,
other perma servants have more 120s and have been around shorter than him. He also just was not very popular at time of release, I don't think, for a 120.
Has it gotten a solo rate up before?
Look.
Because like if he hasn't gotten a solo rate up before, then
no, his only rate up was the Traum release.
Yeah, that would explain it. Because
I see
like
people call him bad purely in fact he's not ours.
Dude, if you want to get him completely maxed out, you got to roll 16 of him. Bond 15, that's the minimum. So like yeah, I can't imagine people doing that, because like assuming you get one of each for every time, you got to roll 32 of the rate up SSR.
See, here's the thing with Percival, right? He has a secret weapon called being a Lost Belt 6 character.
He will be on rate up 5 million times.
Yes, he has a secret buff called he's a Lost Belt 6 character. He would be on rate up 5 million times, like Rio said, and he would be popular. People would like Aurora, right? Like, one of them is here. right? So like
Hey.
people would like Aurora because even though she's the least likable character in Lost Belt 6, is she though? She is in Lost Belt 6. So there are people that like she has plot significance even though if she's a piece of garbage, right? So like you know like it's just how it is. Like also people really don't forgive her. Like there's we've met a lot of pieces of garbage in terms of characters in Fate Grand Order. It was pretty surprising how Aurora, out of all people, were the one that nobody forgave. She got killed by Melusine. Like, who cares? Anyways,
So yeah, Roland.
Roland, sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's so
I keep
hard to
derailing
focus
this.
on this guy, apparently.
So I was looking
so
at
he's got-
Roland, and I did want to mention this as well. Unrelated, well, kind of related because the coin talk.
Please be
Um,
related.
It is related to him and the coin thing. My Roland one, I have not leveled him, but I do have 480 Roland coins, which means that 30 coins a pop. How many Rolands is that?
21?
That is 16 copies.
Damn,
Oh,
bro.
not 16.
Yeah, just
Wait,
bond,
how many?
dude, bond
Oh,
15.
oh, yeah,
Zero.
there's bond coins. There's bond.
Yeah,
oh,
he's
wait.
bond 0. So if I got him bond 10, which is how many coins is that?
Isn't it
that
30
would
per
be
copy? You said you had 600.
so
Oh, you said you had
30,
400. I'm fucking
40,
oh my
50,
God.
be
60,
40.
78. So it'd be 80 more.
80.
So
Yeah, I think it's
480 plus 80. So that'd be 560. I could unlock 2 appends and 120 if I got him in bond 10. I won't. I haven't even leveled him. He's been sitting in my second archive unleveled.
Why?
Right
though?
next to Keisuke, who
I did
is
level him.
also unleveled.
Damn.
Keisuke is interesting. He's
Keisuke's
interestingly
forgotten.
bad.
Yeah,
He-
but you
he's
know what
interesting
Keisuke
that-
isn't? He isn't Roland, who is the servant
He's
we're
not
talking
Roland.
about, right?
Right,
Dude,
which is
okay,
we
crazy,
actually,
because people, I
guys,
feel like
we
people
actually have a
don't want
reason.
Roland more.
We
But
actually
Roland
have
is
a reason to
terrible.
like try and stay more focused and move a little quicker now because
Okay.
I got
All
work
right, sorry,
in
sorry.
11
I'm
hours.
sorry. I keep
Sorry.
forgetting that. All right,
Yeah.
keep going.
Okay, so his first skill, it's a 20% battery. He is invuln and 100% defense for a turn. So it looks a little weird because like you might think it's redundant, but if the enemy has pierce invuln and not ignore defense, he's fine. If they have ignore defense and not pierce invuln, he's fine. If they have both
Yep.
though, yeah,
Good luck.
yeah.
But it is a good thing. It is a good combo because it covers for each other.
Yeah. Yeah, it just seems kind of redundant at a glance. And then
Yeah, but in truth, it's not that bad. Yeah.
then his second skill, he gets 3 turns of 30% buster. He removes his debuffs, then he debuffs himself, and with 50% charm resistance down, and then he removes all the enemy buffs because
Which is
that's
crazy good. A buff
really
strip is
uncommon.
nice.
Yeah.
Team
It's a
wide
buff
buff
clear
strip,
and a buff
7
strip.
turn cooldown,
6.
and a 6. Yeah, it's crazy. Like we've seen this like like what Kiara's team wide buff strip, and it's like 7 turn cooldown, right? Is it 7 turn? No, it's 6 turn.
It's 6.
I forgot.
They
It's 6,
reduced
I'm
the
stupid.
cooldown when they buffed it,
Yeah.
I think.
It is 6. My bad. Keep
He
going.
strips
I
and
apologize.
strips his enemies.
Ugh.
Ugh.
No, I didn't know nudism was actually contagious. So anyways, I like his third skill. It's 3 turn cooldown. It's 20 stars. He hurts himself 500, but he also has absorb and 10% charge. So it's like every few turns, you got a crit turn. Like you might not
Yeah.
have buffs on it, but that's fine, as we'll soon see.
I mean, it is pretty on demand, and if you're using him with like Vitch, it means you can sometimes use it 2 turns in a row.
You can use
really
it 3
easily.
turns in a row, actually.
Oh yeah,
'Cause
3
you
turns
can-
in a row if you're.
you cooldown reduce on, so like you use it turn 1, next turn it's on a 2 turn cooldown. You use a battery skill on him, and then you use the other one after you use this, and then next turn he has it again.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Pretty
it's
cool.
up quite a bit. Like even then, it's just a 3 turn cooldown, which for a 20 star bomb, and a star absorb, not bad.
Yep, really good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oberon has redeeming qualities even if he's a war criminal. Aurora doesn't. Look, you're forgetting one quality she has. She's hot. All right.
I don't think she is.
Shut up. You like children.
No, I don't.
Wow. You literally cannot have any argument here. That's hilarious.
That's like that's so fucking drastic, dude. That came out so much worse.
Okay, that sounds horrible. What I was gonna say was just like, oh, you like Choco drew Aurora, and those are pretty good, right? But like,
What? How am I supposed to? No, you also can't say that because that implies because when you say children, you're leaving out an important context. One, don't like children.
Ones that aren't real, right? Sorry.
Two, it's not. I don't. Not a lolicon. I just like when character designed in an anime style. I prefer petite designed characters versus other types of designs. But that's harder to say, and people just say lolicon, and you skip that step entirely, and you say children.
yeah, and the reason why you don't explain that is because that
it's-
makes you sound like a
Like a pedophile. That's right.
Yes.
So
yeah, but anyway, can we
so-
go back to naked person?
yeah, lastly, he's got ignore invuln for 1 turn, activates before damage on his single target buster NP. And then he also gets 20% attack and crit damage before damage. So that ramps his
ramps up.
NP, and it also helps his card damage on off turns. So yeah, it's a really solid effect. That means he keeps up his damage even if he doesn't have his second skill active. And also has ways of dealing with defensive buffs even if his second skill isn't active. Or is active, like, because you might want to remove the buffs, but then, like, they apply invuln again or whatever. Yeah, he's just got a lot of options for everything.
I think he's very solid. He's just unfortunately hated due to being on Kriemhild's rate up and everyone wanting Kriemhild and getting him instead, and so people get pissed.
Am I wrong to say that also a reason that a lot of these single target sabers people are very tired of is because of the overwhelming amount of like single target saber welfares? I feel like people just generally don't like them that much because they always have a free option.
Yeah, and like especially with Iori now, like what are you gonna do? I think
Oh yeah,
Iori's
Iori kind
better.
of ruins everything.
I don't-
But like,
I don't know about that because he
I'm
does still
assuming not
he still has cells over Iori because Iori
yeah,
he
like
has a
full buff purge.
full buff purge.
That's so
Iori
rare.
can't deal with invuln. He can deal with evade, but not invuln.
Debuff cleanse.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but like in general,
never-
Iori's better.
I never put this together, but actually he's kind of like a 4-star Musashi now that I think of it. Because they have a lot of the same niches. They have the Pierce Invuln, they have the debuff cleanse, the buff purge. It's self Invuln. They got a lot of overlap.
It really is just Roland. Like once again, this is the same argument I made earlier, but like you put this kid on a welfare or like
Or a
on
woman.
Iori or a woman, people are gonna go nuts. But no, it's Roland, the naked friend of Astolfo. So that's why nobody likes him.
And he's not even cross-dressing. You're
Which
afraid
is
of
surprising
Astolfo.
because I remember people were like, "Oh my god, is that actually Roland?" Like Roland has been teased in Astolfo's interlude for so long. I remember people are like saying like, "Oh my god, are we finally gonna get Roland with Charlemagne? We're gonna get the Paladins. It's so good." And then when he comes up, you're like, doesn't give a flying fuck about him. It's actually so sad. I remember like people genuinely talking about how it was hyped that the Paladins are like, you know, coming back Avenger style, and then it's just nobody cares. Anyways.
And now the Avengers are coming back Paladin style.
God damn. How the tables turned, but yeah.
I feel like he's just super underrated.
Yeah, probably one of the most underrated characters, 4 stars, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
he is a bit underrated. But
So
who cares? On to the next one.
Yeah. So I feel like we're not going to have too much to say about him just because we talked about him recently, like just a few weeks
because
ago.
because of the
'cause
tier
he's a
list.
ruler. And
Yeah.
I think so Like, he's an AoE arts ruler, one of many. Because like within 1 year of him coming out, I think there's like 3 others that happen, which is really weird. Really
And
weird.
He's the middle. Wait, is he better or worse than the Pope?
Depends on what you
Depends.
want. Yeah.
If
Pope
you're
support is
looking
not
for-
bad.
but
If you're looking for DPSing, I think he's better for DPSing.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for supporting, then depends on if you're supporting an anti-evil servant or not.
I do
I'ma
want
say
him
something.
to come back on Raid Up because I want to
want
get
a
a
level
level
one
1
raid.
copy so I can use him with Tonalico. I need that. I need to be able to apply evil to people because it changes Tonalico from AoE to single target.
Yeah.
I feel
and
like-
then like
I'm starting to get a feeling that we talked about him. Like the 3 of us talked
Yeah.
about him before. Did he get a
Yeah.
banner and we talked about him? Because
No,
He hasn't had a
I'm
banner in
getting
2
some
years.
serious deja vu. here.
Deja, yeah. I feel like it's just because we were reviewing the tier list and he was pretty relevant during it, and he also has
I wasn't
synergy
here,
with Australia.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
you probably
Were you
talked
not
about
here?
I
it.
just
No.
well, not for the tier
No,
list.
no. I also remember the you wanted to roll the MP1 call. Maybe it was in
Maybe.
voice chat.
Yeah, I
That might
remember
have been a
the
voice chat.
I remember that we had that same interaction happen basically where you
Oh,
said
Jones.
you wanted him to come back so you could get an NP1 copy for Tonalico, and I
Wasn't
said,
that just
I
in
wanted
voice
to come
chat?
back, and I said
It
I
could
wanted
just be
him
in
to
voice
come back so I can. I mean, if it
MP
was
level him.
yeah, so I could get an NP level. Also,
could
he
just
got
be
a
voice chat.
banner last year. It hasn't been 2 years.
Oh.
No, it
Oh
was
yeah,
2
because the
years.
Winter Caravan. No,
Is
no,
it?
no, Winter Caravan.
Yeah, there
Is it
was
Winter
there was a
Caravan?
banner last year.
Yeah,
Oh, well, I was stupid. Well, Tonalico wasn't out then, so I didn't pay attention.
Yeah,
yeah, Winter Caravan. He
Yeah,
was
for
out.
shame,
What was I supposed to
didn't
do?
future proof.
He's a dude.
No,
Why do I
somebody in
care?
chat said we did bring this up. So I mean, yeah,
Oh.
we already talked about him. Evil applier, decent arts crit DPS, like his. Yeah, okay. I guess we can briefly go through it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or are we gonna skip this guy? Or...
Yeah. We can go through him pretty quickly. His gains are actually pretty decent. Like some people assumed his gains were really bad, but it's like 1.48% arts cards and on arts deck. I actually really like the arts deck because it helps him spam. It means he's got more cards for gains. So he's got a self-evade, 2 attacks, 3 turns, as well as 3 turns of sure hit on a skill, which is pretty nice. And then 20% arts resist down, 20% more if the enemy is evil.
Which does have the caveat of if they're not evil, you wanting to hold that off till after the MP the first time, but you know.
To be fair, though, you might not want to use the evade until later. So
True.
you might not immediately want to pop this anyways.
Yep.
You might want to save it for when they evade. So second skill, it's kind of funny. It's like it's Aoko's 3rd skill without the funny immune thing,
Protagonist correction.
but it's only for himself, and it's on a slightly lower cooldown. It's a good skill.
Mm.
It's like 30% rainbow and then 30% crit damage. So like it also means some Yui synergy. He actually works really well with Yui, as I've found.
True.
Then he's got
Mhm.
50% battery, and it gives him 20 stars. Some people might take a bit of issues with this because, like, you either get Arts Absorb or Buster Absorb. It's just 50-50 chance. And while I do understand, like, because you're probably going to want his Arts cards to crit, not his Buster card, it's
He only has one.
not... Yeah, like, okay, you get 20 stars. Oh, like that Buster card takes all of the stars. It can't take all of the stars. It can only take 10 of them. So it's either a 10-star bomb or a 20-star bomb, basically. So you're still going to have 10 stars going to the arts cards, regardless. Or maybe you don't have a Buster card in your hand at all, and it doesn't matter at all. So, yeah. And then he's got a passive crit buff. He's got a passive arts buff and NP damage buff. It's kind of nice. And then he also has Panic Cut, which I think is a really good passive. It's basically mental debuff immune, but better. because it covers the three main things that mental debuff immune covers, which is charm debuffs, confusion, and terror. But it also covers skill seal, which is not
Yeah.
a mental debuff.
Skill
Sounds
seal is
good to
pretty
know.
pretty crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, but the downside is no
Does that
magic
mean
resist.
though he cannot be used with Nukenaria?
Nope.
Oh. Oh, you already
no.
tried that.
Well,
I
I mean,
Wait,
if he
is
skills,
My
if
Fair
he skills,
Soldier
if
is
he's
My Fair Soldier's skill seal, or is it
yes,
considered separate?
Yes.
Yes,
It,
it is
it, it's
skill
a
seal.
special skill seal. So let me
I mean, if it
let me
doesn't,
just check.
if it doesn't, like I remember someone saying it doesn't apply to, Sojiro. I think he has a similar passive to this.
Oh.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
So wait, it doesn't apply to Sojiro, meaning you cannot
Or is
use
it?
it on Sojiro or.
Yeah, someone said the same thing with him, basically.
All right,
I don't know.
Just pop open a quest right here.
Speaking of skill
Quest in
seal,
here.
he's got an AoE Arts NP. It skill seals them. It does 50% extra damage to good enemies. It inflicts evil after damage for 3 turns, which is a buff, not a debuff. So if they have debuff immune, it still applies.
Haha,
then-
it doesn't work on either of them. Lamau.
Rip.
Yep.
And then
That's
20%
unfortunate.
NP 20% NP damage before damage for 1 turn. I know people would prefer, like, I mean, I'd prefer the Special effect just because, like, NP1 does not feel good, but either way, like, his refund isn't particularly that great. Like, at base, it's 4.44, but he does have a bunch of arts buffs. Like, he's got passive 5% and 30% more on his second skill. So, I found that he does spam pretty easily, though, in a challenge quest setting, just because, like, you can pile arts buffs onto his arts cards, and, like, he's like, since his cards are pretty decent, then, like, he's able to get a lot of charge that way. So, him and Jufu, yeah, that's enough to get him to spam. He just doesn't, like, he can refund it. It's just hard to.
Yeah, he's okay at it.
Yeah.
Like there are farming comps with him, I recall. With like against like the Gina comp. It is a two-way farming comp though, so I guess refund isn't really an issue there, but yeah. Like he's fine. Like it's like, you know, like Ryoma is bad refund, he can still refund, right? It's just compared to most other art servants a bit below average, but that sometimes it doesn't really matter, especially ones with 50 battery. So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah.
He also has some so a lot of anti-evil enemies, servants that is, they happen to be arts. So we got Benny Inma, we've got Kyokute Bakken, we've got the newer Nemo, we've got Estrella. For some reason he's on the list, even though, well, I guess he has the skill that applies to evil. Also Pope Joan. Nita Chris is misleading because I think it's instant death chance.
Yes, it is. It is
Yeah.
instant death, and she applies it for 1 turn.
Yeah, so like, okay,
Yeah.
it's not very useful. Then also got Kirei. We got Jimmy and Greg. Oh,
And Mixa does do extra damage to evil. I mean,
So it won't help her minturn that thing though.
yeah,
won't
but
help her do
she's
damage, but
she's quick, so she doesn't get as much out of it.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, hold on, had to clear my throat. It still sounds groggy. Damn. Like what you got here, it's at least 50% more super effective with a lot of those servants, and then 40% arts. Like, it's actually a pretty sizable boost in damage. There's some times where he's actually going to give you more damage than like Castoria or something, even including
Yep.
her NP. Of course, he doesn't have the support that she does, but it's not like it's hard to keep him alive. He's a ruler with an evade. Yeah,
Yep.
I think he's good. I like
He's fine. He's not crazy, but he's not bad.
Yeah, he's a DPS, but you can also use him to help enable other DPSs. But anyways, you guys got anything to say? Because
Not
No,
really.
Just want a level 1 copy.
yeah, okay, well, don't have much to say there. But this one, I feel like I have a bit more to say about since last time any of us talked about him.
Probably.
Because
yeah.
I have used him a little bit since then, and I'm honestly I don't feel like he's as bad as we're giving him shit for. Because like a big part of it is like the deck is actually quite nice. That's one of the few edges he has over Medusa Lily, because they're both single target quick lancers. But he's got a better deck for damage. He has better card damage. He has better card gains. I mean, she has an okay couple arts cards, but her quick cards are some of the worst in the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a short man and his horsewoman.
Short man and horsewife.
Yeah, average Uma Musume player.
Bruh.
Oh no.
So first skill is 20% quick and buster and a guts on a 6-turn cooldown. It's pretty small values, which is kind of regrettable, but like, hey, I mean, guts is like, it's nice to have some
30
form of
would have been
defense.
better.
Yeah, for sure. I'm surprised they actually didn't go with 30, but yeah, to be fair,
Yeah.
he has a writing passive of 2%, so
No.
didn't want to go over 30% apparently. That would be breaking the bank. His second skill is a little weird. It's not the okay. No, it's his third skill that's a little weird. I'm not sure why I'm saying
It's the
second skill.
drain. Yeah.
So honestly, this is a pretty nice skill. It's 20% self battery and 10 stars per turn for 3 turns, and then 10% charge per
I
turn.
also
for 3
feel
turns.
like these values could have been 10% higher each. Like 30%
Yeah,
attack
honestly.
and 20% charge.
His numbers are a bit small for some reason. Like,
Yeah.
I kind of don't get it.
Especially considering his third skill, I feel like he should have had higher numbers here on the regen.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah,
it's
probably.
a 20% regen skill. So if they buff something, I'd actually be down for this to get the buff.
And then his third skill, which protagonist correction is needed. You know,
Mm,
Yeah,
that doesn't help
so,
your case when you make a joke.
but it's all like I've been thinking
Oh,
it in my head to say that for like an hour and a half.
No, that he is short, but he's a man. Okay.
No, but Sancho's there. Also, no, look, it's just funny. The skill is
Okay.
called protagonist correction.
Okay,
Yeah, I
then.
know. Protagonist needs correction.
The protagonist correction is needed
So
now.
his third skill can only be used when he has at least 30% charge. And when he uses it, he drops all of his charge, no matter how much you have. You could have 30%, you could have 300%. It goes to 0, and the team gets 30% charge each. And then he also gets 20 stars on its use. So it's like the opposite of Melt's skill. Instead of taking 30% from the team, he gives 30% to the team.
But this actually is different because this
It's worse
does no matter what
because-
has a net generative effect because it is
Yeah,
losing 30 to gain 60 overall. So it is different
Yeah.
from Alco because Alco does not generate, like, for example, Alco, because people are like, oh, Alco gives entry to the authority. I'm like, Alco doesn't make anything. Alco only redistributes. This,
Yeah.
if you're at 30, actually creates something.
Yeah, it makes money. What Alco doing is she's buying stuff and she's flipping it for a profit.
No,
She
not
actually doesn't
profit.
even flip it for
She's
profit.
buying
Yeah.
stuff and tries to flip it, but she's a bad scalper, so she barely makes her money back.
damn.
You're right, but
Yeah, as a matter of fact, like, everyone else gets more out of the deal than she does because they also get healed
Yeah,
and
whereas-
cooldown reduction.
Now,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that this is a really good skill. I think that this skill is intentionally kind of bad because it's funny, and I think that's fine that a joke-ish character has a joke-ish. It's like Brave Liz has a skill. Her third skill is like intentionally kind of bad, but she's a joke
Brave Liz
character.
is considerably worse than this though. Like,
Well,
holy
yeah, but
shit.
like a joke
Yeah, this
character
is a
having a
guaranteed
bad
effect.
skill is that's not the
Yeah.
worst. It fits with the character. So like I don't think it's a good skill, but I think it's now I will say in like in a multi-core thing, if he's not needed for the final wave, it definitely could be utilized if he's able to get his charge back 30% to like redistribute to people. I just don't know if that anyone's ever used him like that before. But I am wondering in a single target situation, like if there's a team you could build with him and Alco, where Alco is your AoE, and it's like a 1-3-1 node or something, where he is the main DPS and Alco is actually there to give him the correction so he doesn't lose his gauge, so he can then charge her. Anyway, it's a thought, but I'm like,
That's
Is it worth all the trouble? Is basically the problem.
but
here, right?
well, I mean, does
So-
it work? That's the thing. I'm like, but no one really uses them.
Yeah, that's another problem. Probably like nobody really uses him,
Well,
unfortunately.
because he doesn't get a lot of raid ups.
Yeah, he's kind of rare.
well, I think his NP is like one of the best things about him. He deals bonus
Oh, for
damage
sure.
to giant enemies, which is there's like 10 giant servants right now. It's not much.
I've seen very impressive runs with her against demonic Bodhisattva because she
Yeah.
is a giant.
It's her right there.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I didn't know. Yoshimoto. I didn't know he was giant.
He's just
Is there an
kinda
archer
big,
one?
dude.
He's just a big dude.
'Cause I know
But yeah,
He
that
is
he's a-
archer, right?
yeah, he's an archer.
Oh.
Well, he's an
damn.
archer, rider, caster, and berserker, depending on where you're fighting him.
I think at base he's an archer. Like
Yeah, he
the
is.
final fight against his Kenshin against him is actually archer, which is pretty nice.
Okay. Okay, so he should have been used there.
Yeah.
But he also increases the party's attack by 20%, and then the team's crit damage by 30%, and 20% as well. That is.
That's what I was thinking. Like, there has to be some multi-core use for him. I just haven't seen anyone do it.
Yoshimoto is he's the tall guy from the last Guda Guda event, the one that was in all of the raids, basically.
And hopefully this year we don't get another Guda Guda event. I can only pray.
Damn.
Only this year we get that dog person.
Nah, dude, I know what's gonna happen next, and you can quote me on this. The next thing we're getting is Cha-Cha, because they really love this
Oh,
thing where
yeah.
they make
Oh, Avenger
They-
Cha-Cha?
they remake a Gudo
Adult
welfare.
Sasha.
They like remaking Gudo welfares to monetize them. They did that with
Yeah.
Nobu, they did it with Ryoma, they did it with Kenshin. Yeah,
Oh,
man.
you're right. It is just going to be Cha-Cha.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's gonna be adult Cha-Cha. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
They already had a design, no?
5-star Izo. I could see a 4-star Izo, but the thing about Izo is he's already monetizable. So, because he's 3-star limited. But
True.
honestly, I think this NP is like okay. Like the 500% chance of reducing HP, that
Yeah, it's
can
fine.
be a
That's not
bit
gonna do
annoying.
anything.
But to be fair, he has a guts to deal with it. They usually do that with servants that have HP demerits, because Tesla has one as well. Eric has one, and they all have guts. Jinkei doesn't have a guts though. She could definitely use one. That or an evade or something.
What
But,
happens if you use his third skill when he's alone in a party?
you just lose
Does
charge.
he
You
just
just
drain
lose it.
MP?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm pretty sure you just lose
Yeah,
it,
he just loses charge, but at least he gets stars, I guess. But if you're in a solo, you're probably gonna have stars already, because if you just
Oh.
quick
I mean,
chain-
I mean, this shouldn't be a question because we all know what happens when Aoko does it. She just loses it.
I haven't done that. I haven't tried that.
Didn't you click that when you're soloing?
Oh wait,
the
you're right.
prison
Yes, I
tower?
did.
You
Never
did.
mind.
You did,
are
yeah.
I was about
correct.
to say, like, how did you solo it then if you didn't heal
Look,
yourself?
I didn't think of that skill as a redistribution of wealth at the time. I was thinking of it as the heal button. That makes
Yeah,
my
the
buster
heal
attacks kind of do damage for a couple turns.
Yeah.
It actually is crazy because for me it's 50% buster and extra. So she actually is decent for 5 turns, but then the 3 turns it's down. I'm like, I do no damage.
Just for future reference, GPS, I don't recommend abbreviating Japanese that way. Some people see that as a slur, which I don't
Twitter
understand
sees
it.
it as a slur.
Yeah,
Oh, did he say
Twitch
chat?
does too. No,
Oh,
It comes from World War II.
Twitch catches it, really?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
yeah,
Why?
it's also kind of funny because like video game
Because it's
ROMs
just-
that are Japan versions, it's also abbreviated as that. So, but yeah, whatever.
Uh-oh, my bad. I apologize.
Yeah,
I didn't mean-
that's the. I think we were talking over you when you said it, so it was fun.
Okay,
but,
okay.
I
apologize.
I
I
think
didn't
it's because that's what they used in World War II to refer to Japanese people, and
Oh.
like
Yeah,
the-
that does have
I-
some. Like, usually
I-
stuff with history is
I-
like extra bad.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's because of like the Pearl Harbor thing, because like after Pearl Harbor, there was a lot of anti-Japanese discrimination because like, yeah, obvious reasons.
Fun fact: Summer Melusine's MP is Pearl Harbor. Anyways,
No, stop.
Bro.
If Summer Melusine's
So-
Pearl Harbor, which one's 9/11?
I mean, she's,
Summer Melusine,
isn't-
it's
yeah, she's the airplane.
Oh no, so she's Pearl Harbor and 9/11.
Bro.
anyways,
Wait, if
Damn,
you
it
defeat
blocked it again.
Kenshin in her 3rd ascension, where she has the 2 giant towers sticking out of her back, can that
No.
be 9/11? Can like killing her be 9/11?
oh no.
Man, we just keep going on these. Why are we
But-
talking about
As
this?
an
But yeah, okay.
American, I am contractually required to love 9/11 jokes.
All right. Well, I hope YouTube does too.
I'm gonna order. Oh, so
Okay, so I feel like Don Quixote's like his overcharge thing. It's pretty similar to Roland's because it's 20% attack, 20% crit. So, like he's going to be keeping up his damage a bit. And like if you look at it in summation, like he's got 40% attack, 20% card, then 20% crit. So like it's not a whole lot for a 4-star, but like he can maintain the uptime pretty good. I just think like with where his gains are, because he actually has a really solid quick card or a couple quick cards. He synergizes really well with Summer Scotty, as I've learned. So he spams fairly easily as a result of it, and then like he's able to do some good crit damage alongside it.
I do think, unrelated to gameplay, it is interesting how the sprites are in 1st ascension. He's in like gold armor, and Sancho's in like a maid outfit. 2nd, they're both in like, you know, kind of like normal clothing and armor. And then 3rd, he's in like busted up armor, and she's in like a fancy dress.
Yeah, she's wearing a prom dress.
I think what would have been funny is if in the 1st ascension, Sancho is just a horse.
Damn.
Like it's just actually
You
just
can't
a
waifu
horse.
a horse.
And
Plushie. You can't
and then
waifu
he-
a horse.
No.
I'm not saying. I
no.
just thought it was funny. Like he, you know, like he just has a horse, but then because he starts hallucinating, so the horse becomes a woman. After
No. You're
Ah,
not
so
allowed
is
to cook
so
anymore.
when he NPs, he gets over his hallucination. Got it.
yes,
She's not
yeah.
turning into an actual horse. He's
Yes,
just
he-
realizing
Yeah, he just. Oh my god,
it's
that's
just
my
his
horse. What the
moment of
fuck did I just-
clarity.
What have I done yesterday? I mean, what? But yeah.
It's
keep
it's
going.
like when you it's like when you slap a drunk person really hard and they like sober up a little bit, and then it's because he takes damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not into
Anyways,
whores, dude. Shut. Just because I use Calyrex Shadow Rider doesn't mean
Is
I'm.
this guy a Traum servant?
yeah, he came out
Oh my
with
gosh.
Moriarty.
Yes.
Yeah, he was like. I'm not gonna spoil stuff. No.
He is pretty important in the story.
Oh,
you
that's
know?
right. I completely forgot though. Like he's so
Stop.
gameplay wise
Okay, gameplay wise.
unimportant.
I mean, people really like to bring him up though. Whenever someone needs a field, people are just like,
You
"Oh,
accept that
you
he
get-"
has to be on the field. You can't like he can't come in and cast it and leave. He needs to stay there.
Yeah, he's like, you gotta go to Chinatown, grab a couple of counterfeit fields, you know. Like... Alright, keep going.
I don't even know, man.
What?
So like he's got some like okay quick cards, but his arts cards are actually pretty decent. Like it's like 1.83% each. But yeah, quick art stack. He's got an AoE quick NP, so he actually does do damage with his NP, but he's not really much of a DPS for reasons that will become soon apparent. So he's got a team 20% arts and quick buff. It's kind of straightforward. It boosts gain on both of those cards, which is kind of nice. That's what I've come to appreciate more so than the damage boost, because it's just like 20%. It's not too much.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, short
it's a low
cooldown's
cooldown.
nice on this kind of stuff.
Yeah. He benefits quick arts decks pretty well, and like there's some pretty nice quick arts servants out these days. And then his second skill, it's absorb and crit damage. It's 100% crit, and then a debuff cleanse and the absorb. Unfortunately, the absorb is not going
Small.
to be, like unless
It's
you're
so
using
little.
it. Yeah, unless you're using it on something like
A normal
a saber.
class.
If you're using it on
Yeah.
a saber or something with higher absorb, then you'll see it. But if you use it on a berserker, okay, they go up to Avenger absorb. You use it on an Avenger, they go up to not even saber absorb. So it's pretty small impact as far as absorb goes, but it is a lot of damage if you can get those crits to happen. Then his third skill, it's RNG. It's 50% charge for himself, which is that's nice. It's a fast NP, and then he has 80% chance to proc each of these fields individually. So 80% of forest, waterside, sunlight, and burning. So you can use them as an enabler for servants that are stuck, like, depending on these types of buffs. Although the thing is, a lot of servants that really like this buffs, like, they have them in their kits already. Like, and both of the Nobus that have it, like, Summer Nobu has it on her NP, Avenger Nobu has it on his skill, then you got Ozzy who has it on his NP, Melt has it on her second skill, but and then like you got Canis who doesn't really need it, but then servants like Nemo definitely does appreciate it. But again, it's 80%, so like you either land it or you don't.
You brought up Alice last time,
It's
right?
the
'Cause
Space
they're
Ishtar
both, like, AoE quick
situation.
casters.
Oh yeah, and Alice, yeah.
Alice, yeah, AoE quick casters with arts
Yeah.
quick
Quick arts.
duo type.
Also, she doesn't really have any crit buffs, so that helps. So she's gonna have 50% attack because she has forest, right?
Yeah,
It's
she needs forest.
Right. It's either forest, dark, or city. I think that's what it
Once
is.
you proc it, you could
Yeah.
have them leave. So I mean, it doesn't have to. It's only when it's the MP effect that they have to stay on the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. I will say actually with Aussie, like one nice thing about it is you can use Aussie's third skill and guarantee all of the effects on this, and then you use this, and then Ozzy can go ahead and get the benefit on his charisma. So they actually have a bit of synergy together. But the thing is,
actually
after
nice,
after that first NP, he is redundant. So, but yeah, it's a pretty nice skill though, because as we will see here, he actually gets debuffs for like all of these. He can debuff the enemy for 20% of either quick, arts, buster, or crit rate down. So that's like, at best, it is a rainbow debuff with 20% crit rate down, which is real nice. At worst, like, of course, like, yeah, nothing.
At worst, you missed the force debuff. And...
Yeah, but what that means is, with quick and arts, you're actually getting a whole 40% for 3 turns. So, like, that's a pretty significant bonus to not just your damage, but yeah, your gains as well. Like, 40% arts is a lot. But you also make, like, a little bit of stars, not much, because it's only a 5-hitter. And casters don't really have high base star gen anyways, so... But he also has an NP damage buff. But it all procs before damage, so if you get Forest, he actually does a little bit more damage. But again, he's not... Like, he's in the, I think, the bottom 5 as far as NP5 damage goes.
Ugh.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
He's an AoE caster.
Yeah, I mean, he's got, like, 20% quick and 10% NP damage for when, like, no upgrade on the NP, yeah. Still better than Paracelsus, though. Which is, like, kind of crazy.
Oh, no, he's 4th from last. He beats Phantom, Paracelsus, and Gilles de Rais, but loses to Marianne.
Loses to Marianne. Damn.
Loses to Marianne is quite tragic.
Yeah, I mean, she's a Lancer. I guess that actually helps a little
star.
bit. Yeah, 1 star, too. But
he's 1 star,
Lancer,
bro.
I guess. I don't know.
God,
imagine losing to a lesbian. I would never lose to a lesbian.
He's Chinese. Okay. All jokes aside, like this does tell you.
This is a fact.
This is okay. How about a joke? He's Chinese and he's all about being yellow. Anyways,
Anyways, that's not a joke. That's just racist.
No,
when are you going to make?
She's being racist again.
No, look at his MP. Look at his MP.
Yeah, I am.
Rise. Okay.
Do you know what his cult is called?
The yellow
turbans.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why he's the yellow guy. He's like
All right.
There was someone in chat. It was really funny. He wasn't meant to. He didn't mean to be racist. It's like it's his thing. Anyways.
So yeah. Also to clarify, chat. Like I said it in the past, he's Taiwanese. He is allowed to be racist against Chinese people, anyways.
I am in fact yellow. Thank you very much.
You didn't have to.
You
say
didn't have
that.
to say that part.
Okay, fine. All right, look, I'm joking. Okay. I'm joking.
Quick, recite the Bing Chilling thing.
大家好，现在我有冰淇淋，我很想。I don't remember. Fuck, how do I
This
not
is the
remember that?
worst stream.
Anyways, 现在我有冰淇淋，我很喜欢冰淇淋。Yeah, I mean, anyway, sorry.
Calm down there, John Cena.
Funny.
But yeah, like
yeah,
this is the quick support we waited a really long time for. Like low star quick support.
Budget quick support. Yeah.
He's not. I feel like people are a bit too hard on him. Like he's not like. He's not what people wanted, but I still think he's pretty good.
He's what people deserve.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Why he
mean,
put on the mask or the turban.
I mean, okay, so like, yeah, honestly, I think he is pretty overtuned for a 3-star. Like, if you look at his numbers and stuff, like, you know, like 50 charge. Like somebody brought up 50 charge is pretty rare. as a 3-star, right? So
Well, I mean, Paracelsus has more.
And he's
It's
also a
Paracelsus.
caster.
Yeah, I mean they both have really
yeah.
they both have really low damage,
Yeah.
but like neither of them are DPSs anyways. So yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's him. I don't feel
That's
like there's
everyone.
too much to say. Yeah, that's everyone, unless we want to talk about Pope Joan, but I'm not going to let us talk about Pope
No,
Joan
she's a year from now.
because
Pope Joan is really, like not okay. I'm gonna say something that
Popey.
pisses people off.
bro,
All right.
I just said we're not going to talk about her.
No. I'm not gonna talk about Pope Joan. I'm gonna say something that pisses people off. I think Super Alco is basically like Pope Joan. Anyways, all right.
Okay.
That's
Gotcha.
it.
I presume, Otto, you're needing to sleep then or something, or
Yeah,
for work.
yeah, because I got to get up early, but
Yeah,
Ah,
I
okay.
apologize for that.
That's fine.
That was fun.
it's fine. 2.5 hours, it's pretty normal length for a stream, but yeah. Yeah. Shit.
Nice.
What do I say next? Because like now I made it sound like we're immediately cutting off right now.
Make vague accusations towards a vague group and then end the stream without explaining.
FGO
What's
players said very mean things to me.
FGO players hate Quick because they're racist.
Yeah, racist against green people.
Racist
guess-
against Hanako Green.
Oh,
Unbelievable.
okay.
Anyways, but
Man, this has just been a very strange episode.
Uh,
People in the comments, tell us just how weird this episode was. Drive up that
Controversial
engagement. And like, comment, and subscribe.
like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
subscribe to all of
Subscribe.
us. Follow me on Twitter. I have a new Twitter account. I mean, it's not a new Twitter account. I've had it for a long time, but I haven't done anything with it publicly until now. Yeah. Also follow them on Twitter. But they have
oh yeah,
followers
you're
already.
speaking
so it
of
doesn't matter.
Twitter, that Alice thing you posted, I hate that it made me laugh.
Yeah,
Well, Alice.
yeah. The
the
stroke.
aneurysm one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
head
Yeah.
pops.
That shows.
I hate
yeah,
that it made me laugh.
Yeah, go follow me on Twitter and watch it. Also, it's literally on this channel, so you don't even have to go to Twitter
Follow
to
him
see
on
it.
Twitter for future funny posts. Funny, very funny.
Yeah, I'm still getting likes and shares on that Passionlit post I made a long while back. Of course, of course, the first thing I see when I open up Twitter is Ibora. It's like one of the 5 people I have followed. Anyways,
Yeah.
thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Goodbye.